Hey guys, welcome back to another live stream. Of course, today with me I have a lovely guest. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Anastasia Samara. We did a live one more time in the past on Margella because I'm a collector as well. So I'm a stylist. And what else can I say? We're going to discuss about styling today. So it's
Which should be
my
fun.
favorite topic.
Which should be fun, which should be fun, which should be fun.
Ah, yes.
Um, so just to kind of like jump into it ever so slightly,
Yeah.
what would you say, just for the audience, like a stylist is, and what does a stylist do?
What a good stylist. Well, in general, I mean, a stylist.
A good stylist.
So I would say, which is the most difficult thing. If you decide to become a stylist, I think it's very important that you have your own personal vision that you can express through clothes, which is a very challenging thing, I would say, and difficult because we have more and more images, so it makes it more and more complicated. For photographers, it's the same to create things that are very to really find an identity and to really be able for somebody to recognize that it's you when they see an image. So for me, a good stylist is somebody who has something specific to say. He has to be authentic. He or she has to be authentic, and that requires, of course, a lot of work behind that. Of course, it's an understanding of texture, it's an understanding of materials, fabrics, color, how the market works. Of course, practical aspects as well. But if we talk about the creative aspects, of course, all these things and then I think it's a very intuitive thing, actually. Like all creative things, there is like a kind of how to say it, like it's an intuition as well, specifically for styling. It's a very instinctive kind of thing, in my opinion. And you can see it. I mean, good stylists have that. You can really feel it in the pictures. At least I can see it very clearly when somebody is like really authentic in what they do, or when they're copying somebody else, or trying to look cool, or trying to be creative but without really being. It's subtle things, but they are there. So that's what I would
Yeah,
say. It's a good
what
stylist,
would you say are the differences? Because of course there's so many different types of styling. Like you can do
Yeah,
styling for like films, like costume design sort of styling. Then you can do like styling for editorials, and then styling for
yeah,
like personal clients, like celebrity styling. What would you
yeah,
say are like the major differences in the way you have to think when you do those different types of styling?
yeah. I mean, what I describe is for the more creative, like fashion styling, and the more creative aspect, like the more high end, I would say, meaning the stylists that do editorials, basically, they do consulting, and then they do big campaigns. But then, of course, you have even wardrobe stylists, you have other kind of stylists. Now, if we talk about celebrity stylists, for example, in my opinion, in terms of creativity, is much, much more simple. Um, there are many good celebrity stylists, but it requires, I guess, another kind of skill set on other levels.
Yeah.
Because you're representing somebody who is known but doesn't necessarily to be very fashion forward. It can be like it's a different approach. In my opinion, it's challenging in different ways, maybe in terms of timing also, how fast you have to come up with things, or to have to resource things. But it's not in my personal interest. Of course, I would be happy to do it as an experience, that, but it's not something that I'm focused on. So a main difference, I would say, in terms of creativity, for sure, it's not the same thing at all. Very few celebrities, anyway, are very stylish. And very often, when they are stylish, they have their own point of view, like Rihanna, Lady Gaga. These people are creative themselves. So very often, I think they also know how to choose things themselves. But most celebrities, they need classic things. Then it's
Right.
more, I guess, how quickly you can do that, and how quickly you can cover this kind of things. But it's a job that's very well paid. I think one of them, like the celebrity stylists, are maybe the best paid.
Super well paid. Oh my
Yeah.
god, so crazy, crazy story. But like, I know so many different like celebrity stylists, and like some celebrities, people might not know this, but they get paid insane amounts of money just to wear stuff on the red carpet. And sometimes stylists get royalties, like a percentage of the payment that the celebrity gets. So, like, if a celebrity wears a dress and let's say they're getting paid 400K to wear that dress, the stylist might get 10 or 20% as a fee from that. So, like,
For
celebrity
doing basically
stylists,
not much, you know.
yeah, for not doing that much work. So, yeah. So, celebrity stylists get paid a lot. That's why they're always fighting for clients.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
to me,
it's
I mean, it's
insane.
not like, you know, it's interesting, but not interesting at the same time. But this is my personal opinion because I love the creative aspects of styling, the more artistic aspects of it. And then, like when you do costumes, again, it's another kind of thing, which I think there is not even styling that much anymore. It's more like when you do you said for films or for, you
Yeah.
know, for films, for example, I think you need to have another kind of background in terms of education as well. A lot of
It's like
history of clothing, for
research
sure,
and,
you know.
yeah.
Well, I mean, as a stylist, it's good to have this kind of knowledge as well. It's good to know what, you know, people were wearing in other centuries as well. It can give you inspiration to bring it to contemporary styling, but it's not that literal as it would be like in a film, you know, like they're playing Victorian era or whatever era. Then you need to be very specific about it and technical. I think that's the main big difference. You don't need to be necessarily creative there, but more exact actually in what you're doing, more precise so that you represent, you know, how people were really dressed at the
Yeah.
time. And then it's music industry also, which is very interesting. Video clips, for example, which I find hilarious because the way the styling is done there
No,
very
no
often.
offense.
It's,
The
oh
worst
my
stylists
God.
I've ever seen tend to be
Uh,
the stylists that do music videos. They're so
yeah, of
bad.
course.
They're
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
don't have a clue most of the time, the people that do
yeah,
music videos.
yeah. And I mean, most music videos also are not, you know, it's very few artists take care to have beautiful styling. Like Gaga,
Yeah,
again, I will give the same example that she wore, you know, in Abracadabra, she wore Tayskens,
yeah.
you know, this white dress that she was, and she wore matière fécale. She's wearing many young designers too, but she's an exception. Um, Madonna was the same, you know. I remember I was watching, that was, I think, big part of her vision. And even though she didn't have, like, she was
But
not
I
like a
think,
Mara.
do you know what it is though?
Yeah.
I just wanted to add, like, with Lady Gaga,
Yeah.
because I know Lady Gaga's stylist, Tom, and he's from Belgium. He lives
Mm-hmm.
in Antwerp. He
Mm.
works a lot with like design students and mentors a lot of students. So he's very in touch with like new designers and like what
Yeah.
designers are coming. So it's amazing that he like relays that information to Lady Gaga and then they
Mm.
kind of work collaboratively. But that's to do with once again the kind of style she has that can keep her in the loop with, you know, all these designers that are coming that are really interesting. And he also comes like, for example, you just said Thigh Skins, Tom is from Belgium. So it's like there's that connection. So that's where like a lot of that actually comes from. So once
Yeah.
again, it's a lot of times the stylists don't get credit, but a lot of that
Ah,
is
yeah,
coming
it's a
from the
lot of yeah, yeah,
stylist.
it's a lot of work. I mean, for this level of stylist, like her stylist, who's doing great work, in my opinion. But of course, the thing is, in that case, I think the artists have to be themselves also very open and creative people themselves. Otherwise, it doesn't work. The stylists by themselves, they cannot do anything. But of course, when you have a stylist who can suggest you so many things, it's
Yeah.
fantastic, you know. Madonna was the same. I want to tell you, I was watching in the past, she was doing one time, I don't remember how it was called, that tour, and all the dancers and herself, they were dressed in Gautier Hermes, you know, and it was like, you know, the one that she was doing with the horses, and it was like BDSM, but actually with horses, and then Stephen Klein was doing also that was like out of this, but it should be normally like this. Fashion should go together with music, but most artists
Yeah.
don't. There are very few that do that.
I don't know why, but I think it's to do with the
Yeah, me
stylist, to be
neither. I don't
honest.
know why. Probably
Yeah.
because many artists, they don't have that interest in fashion, or they don't have a Like they don't, besides their music, they don't have a global vision on what visuals they want to give to the world. So I think that's the reason, they want to just look sexy, women, for example, and that's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very limiting when it's like that.
Got some interesting questions. Someone is asking, does one's taste in style, is it in their genes?
Oh yeah.
Or is it something you learn?
No, you don't learn. I mean, you can learn many things. You don't, I mean, of course you have to study and read all the, you have to educate yourself. You have to be a good stylist, in my opinion, you have to be an educated person in general, like somebody who reads not only on fashion, but who, like somebody who, because if you don't have layers in yourself as a person, what are you going to express? What are you going to talk about also, it's going to be very, how to say, more basic,
Yeah.
so definitely you need to educate yourself because it doesn't come from a void also. You have to, all the images, you have to see a lot of images, visual education mostly. But then like how you are going to approach it, this is in your genes. Like this is the thing that is like, it's an intuitive thing that has to come, it comes forward, like it comes from you somehow. And this is for me the magical thing of a good stylist.
Yeah, that's like kind of like photography. Like everyone
Yeah,
has like
exactly.
an
Yeah.
eye, and like
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
some
an
people's
eye.
eyes are just better than others. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I, in my opinion, curiously, there are many more good photographers than good stylists in terms of how high the level of the work can be. Not
True.
necessarily too many photographers with their own identity, because again, for photography, it's so difficult as well. So many things have been done. Like to create really an identity that resembles to nobody else, it's not, it's very challenging.
Yeah. Yeah.
But certainly, yeah, it is. I think you're
Let's
born with it.
see. With the availability of Pinterest ideas and access to photos online, do you think celebrities depend on stylists less in relation to coordination, but more access to luxury lines? Oh, that's a good question.
Mhm.
Because they're essentially asking, do celebrities kind of
Yeah,
have an idea of kind of what they want to look like because they've looked at Pinterest and Instagram, but they're just using the stylist to get access to,
I don't think they have an idea. They are
luxury
clueless, I
brands.
think, most of the times.
Yeah, I don't. I think even when they think they have an idea, they
Yeah,
don't because it's
yeah.
like
Mm.
that. Someone who comes to mind is like Drake. I remember when Drake paid. I can't remember what Instagram page it was. Just paid him loads of money to like buy him stuff, and then he just bought like the most expensive archive pieces on
Yeah,
Grailed, and he had like the Ras Simmons Riot Bomber, and it was just like it's okay to wear that, but it has to be you. It has to
yes,
actually
yes.
be like that.
That's the
You
process.
have to
Yeah.
be the kind of person that wears that, and Drake is not the Ras Simmons.
No.
Right, wrong. The kids that wear that have like Ras Simmons tattoos on their chest and stuff like that. You're not one of them, so it just that it didn't come across authentic. So he just like was wearing like this archive helmet Lang, and it just didn't make any sense. So I think even when people think that they have an idea, I think it's just maybe they're chasing hype or something. They haven't really thought about it properly or about what their own fashion identity is going to be and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's another thing what you say, which is very important, not for stylists, but for people who dress in general, who appreciate clothes. It's so interesting how the person who carries the clothes is so important. That's why I'm telling you, there have to be layers in the person themselves, because we can wear the same thing, and I don't know how this happens, but the energy is so different, and we can look, one can look ridiculous and the other can, like, you can put things that nobody else would combine, but this on you it looks fine, and it looks fantastic.
100%.
So that's a very it's a very personal thing in the end. So you can't just put Raf Simons and your Drake, but then you don't become suddenly fashion forward, by doing that, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Something
need
I
a
wanted
stylist, yeah. Mm.
to touch on quickly. I just find this interesting. So recently Vogue had this like best dress list, right? And
Yeah.
why this really intrigues me is I'm a bit confused because I don't when people say best dress, nowadays I don't actually know what that means. Because like for example, like love Alex Kansani as a model,
Mm.
but Alex Kansani being on a best dress list confuses me because Alex Kansani, I don't even know what her style is. Like, I just know that she walks on loads of runways and she's in
Yeah,
loads of campaign. I don't even know if she has a style, to be honest.
yeah, yeah. I don't think neither.
So
Models
it's
in
like
general very
on this list
rarely.
they have a lot of models, and I'm confused. 'Cause I'm like,
Yeah,
but no, these guys don't. They get dressed all the time.
yeah,
Like they
yeah,
don't have a style, and these are models that I'm like a big fan of. Like even Paloma,
yeah, yeah. Of
like they
course,
don't they don't really
but
have a style.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally agree with you. I think this is I don't know. It's when we talk about best dress, maybe everything has become a little bit sterile in the sense like what does it mean? Like wearing Prada is best dressed or wearing, Dior? What like this? And there has to be something personal. Otherwise, there is no point in discussing well dressed.
Right.
If whoever has money, you buy Hermes, I mean, well dressed in what sense? Like that you're wearing good clothes? Yeah, but like, are we talking about style then? I mean, so many people can do that. Like, I mean,
Right.
I totally agree with you on this. And very often, I think we discussed that one time. Like you see editors of the past, even stylists of the past, especially when you're a stylist, like how can you not be even overdressed? You should be dressed well.
Yeah.
Somebody has to see you and know that this is your profession. Like if you see people like, Isabella Blow or so many
Oh,
other Italian, like
100%.
Vreeland and all these people, like, I mean, it's their way of expressing themselves. How can a stylist wear a jean and a t-shirt? This I don't understand. I mean, for models still it's okay, but why you put them also on the list of to say what well dressed? It's
Yeah,
almost
that
like this.
that that confused me. And then even for example, Aya Debris, I'm a big fan of Aya. Once
Yes.
again, it doesn't I think unless like we're just giving the credit to the stylist. So I think Danielle Goldberg is Aya Debris stylist. Now, the thing about Aya Debris is she wasn't in like known as a fashion person, or she wasn't seen as a fashion icon until she started working with her stylist, and her stylist basically molded her
Yeah.
into kind of the Aya Debris that like I love. I love the way she dresses, and shout out to her
Hmm.
stylist. So it's like, what is that? Is that an Aya Debris stylist award, or is that she has a good stylist award? Like, what is that?
Very often is the stylist behind that. But again, the stylist will dress her to look well, but he cannot give her her personal identity. This she has to do in a way. She has to contribute in that herself,
Yeah,
right? I mean, she has to have an opinion. Otherwise, the stylist can up to, I think the stylist can create a persona up to a point, but then you have to be that persona too yourself. Otherwise, how he's going to create you see what I'm saying? You have to be that yourself somehow. You have that kind of potential, and then the stylist will get inspired by this, and then you get inspired by the stylist, and it's like an organic thing, and you develop something. Then your stylist then is your support, but the stylist cannot make you understand what I'm saying? Is like
yeah,
Erika Badu,
yeah,
for example. Even if she has a stylist, you can tell it's her.
yeah.
It's
It's
so
her.
personal. Like it's so personal. Like, but of course, she might need a stylist to, tell her this is a new brand and this is a cool thing, and because she cannot know, this is not her job. But then it's her. And but these people are very few, that are truly creative in the way they dress. It's not a
Yeah.
common thing. I realize it's very uncommon, actually, surprisingly. Yeah.
No, it's very, very uncommon because it's almost like something I've noticed about styling these days is that it feels like when I first got into fashion, stylists are more just like really creative image makers.
Mm.
And like they used to create like really iconic images in collaboration with like photographers. Whereas now it feels like most of styling is really just fashion as a means to make money. So it's like, how can I find someone famous that isn't known in fashion yet? How can I use their name and then put them
Mm.
in like the buzzing clothes of today so that
Yeah.
they can then be on the red carpets getting paid, and then me as a stylist I get like a certain fee, and how can I get this person brand deals so then I get my commission. So it's no longer about I feel like stylists before used to do that, but in addition, they were all really
Yeah,
creative minds.
yeah,
And they
yeah.
used to create really, really iconic imagery. And I think there's less of that now. That's why you were saying, like, it seems like there's so few, like, really, really good stylists these days. Especially once you come out of the celebrity thing and you start looking at editorial. Most editorials I see are quite terrible.
Oh, yeah. And it's so unfortunate because people that are working there are professionals that have been working for many years. Unless, I mean, because I mean, this is like creative jobs should never become like a 9 to 5, boring. Let me put some, it's like otherwise, for me, it has to be like it's your personal need to express yourself. It should, I mean, it's first of all, you want to do it, regardless of the money, it's like you want to express yourself. That's why you're an artist. That's what an artist is. Somebody who, regardless of if they become famous or they get a lot of money, it's part of their being, they want to express that through clothing. That's your medium. So if you don't do that, that means what? That means that either you should stop if you're like out of creative ideas, like some designers
Yeah.
have stopped and they have done sculptures like, Helmut Lang and Gilles Sander. Like, it's legitimate. You can do that. But then if you continue doing that, it's for what? Like you become like you do just what? You dress people for whom to see, like, and also it's for who. I mean, it becomes so autistic because let's say the fashion magazines, not Vogue or Bazaar, but the smaller ones, the more like fashion oriented ones who are basically for people of the industry. They're not even for clients.
Yeah.
Like if you make styling basic there, like who for whom is that? So it's not for buying, like re-edition or like self-service. All these are more fashion, like their niche. So for who are you creating these images? Is it not to nourish the community of creatives? It's or to express yourself, first of all. Actually, first of all is for that.
Yeah.
That's your first need, should be that. Like for designer is the same. Your first need is to create something. It has to be the love that you have for that. Then why you're doing it? Like what's the point? I think
Yeah.
there is this movement of contemporary styling. It's like a trend where it's very nonchalant and very, like very relaxed and like, and it ends up becoming this is not a point of view in the end, this is just nothing. Like, okay, you take something, a beautiful piece of, I don't know, Prada or whatever, and you put it. So yeah, but then it becomes a
Oh my god,
campaign.
that
Like
annoys
what
me
it
so
becomes what,
much. That
for
annoy.
what?
Oh my god, I talk to stylists sometimes, and they talk in terms of brands, and it's really annoying. That's how I know they're not good stylists when they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna put her in a new Bottega," and it's like, why? Why does it have to be like the big famous brand? Why can't you mix really interesting things? Why can't you make stuff? I have friends that are stylist, like Tom, Lady Gaga stylist.
uh,
He can actually design, so he makes some stuff for her. So there might be like he might be like, okay, we're gonna put you in LV, but I don't like the way that sleeve looks. Let me change it slightly. And sometimes he gives the team ideas because then he'll change it. It'll be crazy on the runway, and then the LV team is like, we actually like what you did. We might change what we're doing with that dress now. So it's just like that's what good stylists do.
yes,
But a lot of
yes.
stylists are just like, yeah, we're just gonna put her in a new Prada. And then there's also, I feel like, let's say in the 2000s when I started to get into fashion, on the red carpet, you would have discovery on the red carpet. Whereas now it seems like, for example, I know that the next red carpet, we're gonna see all the Dior looks will be from the latest collection because they're trying to push the latest collection. So there's no like scope anymore
Yeah.
to like be really creative. It's like, yeah, it just has to be a head to toe Dior look, but not just any Dior look. It has to be from the last collection. And there are all
I mean,
these
what?
like
Yeah.
obligations now where everything has to be from the recent show because that's what they're selling. And I do think it takes away for it makes looks look like a lot worse.
Do you think the reason for that is that everything has become more corporate, or this is also at the same time an excuse?
No, I think everything has become more corporate, but it is an excuse because I think a
Okay. There is space for
byproduct.
creativity still, right?
Yeah,
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 that's what.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
so a byproduct of everything going corporate means that the people that come into the industry have that mindset.
Yeah.
So if you're new into the industry, you come into a landscape that's corporate, you're going to think that way. So you haven't had the time to, be more creative at a time when that was just the landscape. So I think
Mm.
a lot of the newer stylists right now, that's why we're seeing they're so like commercial with the way that they style.
Yeah, but I mean, if there is still space for creativity, which I think there always is, if you're not a little bit disruptive and you just like put yourself by yourself already from the start in a box, like what's the point? You just put yourself from the start. Okay, I'm gonna do that, and then what are you going to? In what way are you going to contribute in the industry? Like it should be something that you look at and it moves you. It creates some kind of emotion. It shouldn't be like yeah. I mean, it's sad if from the start, from the get-go, you start putting yourself in a box. There is no space for growth at all
100%.
creatively. Yeah.
100%. Oh, awareness of clothes. This is a question for you.
I'm curious what my first memories of clothes are. Like how does she mean? Like when I was a child, or how the
I
first
think so.
memories?
They're trying to figure out how you got into styling. Like how did your love of clothing start?
It's so my story is so weird. Well, I would say my parents were working in not in fashion, in the fashion industry, but in the clothing industry. So it made me very early, almost obsessed, not necessarily with fashion, but with quality. So this is my first memories are of the quality of clothes because my mom would always buy very high quality, cotton, wool, and things like that. Very well stitched, very well made, because she herself was working in quality control of clothing. So wherever we go to buy, she would always like turn the clothes around and see how the stitch is. So I always have these images in my head. So this is the very first memories I would say I have out of quality. And this up to today is with me always. I never buy, I never buy things of poor quality. It gives me like I cannot. And I think this registered with me very, very early on. But then the rest, I guess I don't know, I didn't have any other fashion influences in my family, but I remember very early I was watching, it was a time it was fashion TV, and I would watch the Dior shows, the Galliano Dior shows when I was like 14, and I would be
Oh,
so.
the
Or
good
I would go to the
shows.
university and we have my university was not related to fashion at all. It was public health related, and I would have Vogue with me, like. Well, I was always that kind of kid that was fascinated by fashion. But quality, yeah, it taught me quality very early on, and I can recognize it. Like I can see fabric from far, or I can touch it, and I can very quickly say,
That's
categorize
very
it where it is.
important in
Yeah,
this current fashion landscape for sure.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
You-
now that we're talking about that, is how can you be a stylist and not understand quality of fabric or stitching or pattern cutting? Not to make it yourself, but to understand if it's well cut or if it's well stitched. Or, this is like I don't know how this is even possible.
I mean, you have to understand that because
Yeah, of
if
course.
something isn't well constructed, that's how you have like wardrobe malfunctions. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
how did
exactly.
that rip? It's like, well, because look at the seams, or like, let's say, um, let's say like someone is photographed from the back, and then it looks like something's a bit off, and now everyone's commenting on, oh, the dress looks off, but it's like you should have seen that as a stylist before putting that on your client.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And this is, of course, education. You have to train your eye, and then it becomes like a second nature. You should be able, once you see clothes, very quickly to know this is good, this is bad. Like in terms of quality per se, like even the silhouette. Like if it's a bad cut dress or piece of clothing, he is going to create very weird things on your body. That's why
Yeah,
good designers are good designers. Bad designers are bad designers also. I mean, there is a reason for that. There's a technicality that is so important. Somebody
one
asked
hundred
something
percent.
or made a comment. I don't know what it was, but something about contrast. I didn't see
Oh,
the.
She said she's curious to know what the contracts look like.
The contracts look like.
I think she's referring to in terms of like now that there are a lot of ambassadors. I mean, there have always been ambassadors for brands, but it wasn't so stiff. Like back then, it didn't feel like it was the obligations were so stiff. Like there have
Yeah,
always been people that are affiliated with certain brands, but they still had scope to wear other things, and that's why they still came across stylish. And I think it actually helped sell the brand that they work with because they'll show it in a nice way. But
yeah.
nowadays it seems like yeah, once you're an ambassador for like Dior, everything has to be Dior head to toe, and it's just like it just makes for terrible looks.
Yes, yes, it's very problematic and very limiting, of course. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. This used to be an obscure occupation, and now there's a whole industry being built around it and being institutionalized. I'm not sure something that is so dependent on taste can be formalized. 100%. Totally agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Haha, I'm getting so inspired. We're good. We're good to see you get inspired. That's great. That's great. That's great. Um, so a conversation I kind of want to go to is the conversation of like what makes a good stylist. We kind of touched on it a bit earlier, but
Mm.
obviously we were talking earlier about the comments from Willie and all those kind of things. So maybe you could like mention some of that, and then we can kind of have a discussion about what was said based
I
off
would,
the one granary discussion.
yeah. So the one granary was talking about how easy is the profession of a stylist right now, and that of course the people that are working in the industry many years already, they don't give much space for younger people. But that's, I think, everywhere is like that.
Yeah,
All industries are like this, creative or not, because people are egoistic and sometimes jealous, and sometimes they're just, it's just they don't want to give, space for anybody else. But that's part of the thing everywhere. But so it was about this, and then his comment, William Cult's comment, was very interesting because he was saying he has styling students where he teaches them also about styling, and he discovered that there are so many that they would do much better. And I mean, there is a lot of how to say places where stylists can work finally, not necessarily in fashion per se or in editorials and consulting, but they can also work, as we were saying, in music industry, costumes for film industry, celebrities, and all these kind of things. So he was suggesting his students to think out of the box in that sense, that, or some they might even make great, he was saying, art directors. They might end up being very good in visual researching much more than styling, which is also an interesting distinction. I mean, a stylist can be also a creative director sometimes, depending like how much
yeah,
of the vision he or she holds for the total project. But it was interesting. He was saying that a great I think he was suggesting that they're not that it's difficult to be a great stylist actually, and it needs to be in your blood. It needs to be something that is very like, it's your medium is clothes, and you should be able to use it as an art form, like, and express yourself through that. And he was
100%.
giving some points where he was saying a great stylist is somebody who can help an uninspired photographer sometimes, who can turn upside down a whole collection, like even a bad collection, support it from a designer to make it, to bring it to a higher ground. And somebody, I think he meant altogether somebody influential, who can create impact, visual impact. So even change the way people dress. I think this is too complicated to, I don't know if we can do this anymore. Like if stylists can have that impact that they used to have in the past, because we have so much information through the social media, through all the micro influencers and people that talk about clothes, even though very often they're clueless. It dilutes
Yeah,
everything. And then at the same time, I would say, I mean, styling in a way at this point, even magazines are not that more much for the consumer, I would say. They're much more for the creative industries. Somehow it's like,
Would you say that? Because I think
I don't know.
even
I'm confused a little bit about this, to
yeah,
be
the
honest, you know?
mainstream magazines, I genuinely don't know. Like I was looking at just before we got on this. I was looking at. I'll share it on the screen. I was looking at this editorial, right? Like Bad Bunny did
Yeah.
this editorial in Vogue,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
just don't like. This is basically what styling is now, especially for the big magazines. It's like the blueprint that they use for every single
Yeah.
shoot. I kid you not, some of the images were the exact same images. I actually need to put it on the screen just so you can
Yeah,
see.
please do.
Um, like from the Timothy Chalamet whole shoot, some of the ideas are exactly the same. Like the whole sort of like Michael Heiser like in empty space sort of idea, like this kind of look is
Okay.
basically
A shadow.
so so it's
What's
just
that?
like they don't even
Yeah. Yeah, there's no
like
effort.
editorial to
Yeah.
editor, they're not even trying to do anything creative. They're just using the same idea and just changing like the talent.
Yeah,
Um,
so okay,
like
oh no,
leaning on
I
the
agree.
car
Mm-mm.
in a desert. Like how many times have we seen this?
Groundbreaking. Yeah, this is I haven't seen that.
So sometimes I see it and I don't even know who it's for at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, it's not for the industry. I agree with you. It's not for creatives, but is it for the consumer as well? I wonder. Is it?
I wonder if like the typical Bad Bunny fan, if they look at this and they're inspired. That's what I want to know.
Probably not. So for who
Yeah.
is that? And in my opinion, even if it's for the consumer, I don't think that it's the consumer that should guide the aesthetic, but the other way around. You should not impose, but show to the consumer what should they be doing or what they should be aspiring to. Like creative should not, like it's not that okay, the consumer, but the consumer is clueless most of the time. Like the average person doesn't know anything about fashion. How is this person going to guide you in creating something? In any case, they will not understand. So you should inspire something in them at least.
Yeah.
Or if you don't, then what's the point? To show them what? Like it becomes like they can go to the store and see the clothes and buy, a pair of trousers. And why you should do an editorial about it? If they really want to do that, like to go and buy, a jacket and a pair of pants, they can go to the store. There is a vitrine. You choose, you buy. That's it. What? I really don't know for who is that. Even for the consumer, like who relates to this? I
Like
mean, it's
that's
a
what
very
I'm
interesting
saying. So
question.
that's why I said I don't I genuinely, and maybe
Yeah, me
people
neither. Yeah,
in the comments can say, but I genuinely
yeah,
sometimes wonder who this stuff is for, because like even I was looking at these because they came out today, but like even
yeah.
Alex Consani, for example, they're running this whole story about like how Alex Consani is the model of our moment, which I do agree with. She's
Ah,
like
me too. Me too. I love her. Yeah,
super
she's fantastic. Yeah,
influential.
yeah,
The fact that like she's one of the first trans women to be a model and like make it this far, all this sort of stuff. And I'm
yeah.
like, this kind of interesting story, and the best they can come up with is just, her lying down with the Celine belt and and jeans and a white shirt on a bed. Like it's just like Dario Vitale's Versace, which I like. It looks cool in editorials, but what does the image actually say in a sense of like storytelling, in a sense of like interesting image making, in a sense of the story that they're actually sharing, which is like how far she's come as a model. How do any of these images speak to that?
Zero. There is
And this is
nothing,
what I mean about the like image making, the styling at these like big magazines. It's just so lackluster. I don't even know where to begin with it.
Yeah, I guess it's what I was telling you, this trend that, is like she's sitting somewhere wearing a pair of jeans and like what we're going to recreate what? Like the beginning of 90s, we want to go into that kind of minimalism. I think it doesn't make any sense at all. Like that at that time it was revolutionary, you know. It made sense in you have to put it in the context. To do that again for what? Like what is it saying? And this thing also with fashion repeating itself sometimes, it's like a little bit autistic. What is it gonna say if you recreate that kind of, you know, early Kate Moss kind of era, you know, like very no makeup, which I'm fine with it. I don't mind. And hair, like very
Right.
relaxed, and she's wearing, and like even the pose is very relaxed, you know. We see these images where they're inspired from which era, but okay, so and so what are we saying in 2025 on this? There's nothing to say.
And that's the problem. I feel like and people talk about this. People have spoken about this online, where
Mm.
people these days are almost like anti-intellectual, where people don't want to think and people don't actually want to consider things. They just kind of want to be shown stuff and they don't have to think, and then they move on. And I think if that's the way things are going, things are only going to get worse. Because yeah,
Mm.
when you look at an
I
image
agree
like
with
this,
you.
you
Yeah.
don't think. It's just there's not. I'm looking at Alex Consani's face, and that's it. So it's like there's nothing to really talk about. There's no conversation. There's no storytelling. So you just move on.
I mean,
It's
you
like
don't even
very
really see the piece of
forgettable.
clothing, to be honest, in
It's
a way.
very
Yeah.
forgettable imagery. Like in 5 years
Yeah.
from now, no one is going to be like, "Do
Ah,
you
yeah,
remember
yeah.
that Alex Consani editorial where she was wearing blue jeans, a white like this here? Do you remember that
Yes, I remember
editorial
that.
where she was wearing blue jeans, a white shirt, and Michael Ryder Celine belt? Like, no one is going to remember this. It's so
Yes,
forgettable.
yes. Yeah, 100%. And so many other editorials. Like sometimes I
And
have a hard time remembering them because they nothing stays in my head, you know. It's just like it's but this is not a good sign.
it's even worse because the context here is that this is Vogue. So
Yeah.
Vogue has access to any clothing they want. They can pull anything. So it's a choice. It's not like they can't get certain. It's actually a choice.
Yeah.
Like they looked at everything and they were like, "This fits best." That was the decision that someone made. That's what makes it worse.
Yes.
Because most people, their issue is that they struggle to get exactly what they want. That's not an issue that Vogue has.
Yeah, for sure. And it's ironic because Vogue used to be, well, in the past, a revolutionary magazine. Also, you know, in the beginning, it was also something that was bringing, but now we're very far from that. Now it has
Yeah, of
become,
course. Like you look at the Diana Vreeland covers and all that sort of stuff, and it's like
yeah,
night
yeah,
and day. It's like insane.
yeah.
And I always wonder, like, is it that they can't make covers like this now because of the climate? What do you think would be the response to like a cover like that? I feel like people would have a really positive response
Yeah, for
to
sure.
like
I
those
mean,
kind
people,
of like
I think people love seeing interesting things. I can tell you a very simple example. Even when you're dressed very well, you go in the metro, people are looking at you. You can see they're like, you know, it's inspiring. It will never stop being inspiring. So
right.
what is the fear behind that? They're not going to buy? I mean, it's not even about buying at this point. It's about inspiring. In the end of the day, people are going, especially women, they're going to buy bags, as we said, and shoes and accessories mostly. And some few people have taste and will buy very nice clothes, and some other people, most they will buy, you know, quite luxury. And that's the end of the story. It's like it more or less, it's pretty much defined. Very few people are going to buy like Margiela or Rick Owens or, you know, interesting pieces from Loewe. How many people you see like this? But it doesn't mean we shouldn't put them out there, or we shouldn't put interesting images to inspire. You inspire in general, not to dress necessarily. It's an inspiring image. So I don't know. Do these images like with Consani or other images like that, do they boost sales really? Does it serve them at least? I don't think so.
That's
I
what I
mean,
don't
does it
understand.
really
It's
serve?
just
What
I
is the
don't get it. I don't get like when you look at this is obviously Richard Avedon like photography, but
Yes,
it's
yes,
like when you look at the imagery, it's so memorable.
yes.
It just like stands out. And it's just, I just don't understand why people don't decide to make more interesting, like, more interesting styling and shoot better photography. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I really don't think that it makes them sell more clothes by following that strategy. I really don't think so.
I think making photography like this and styling things like this actually would sell more because
Yeah, I
it's
think
more
so too.
inspirational, it's more
Exactly.
memorable, it sticks in
Yeah,
people's heads more.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I just, yeah, I don't know who decided that everything needs to be better. I don't know who decided that, honestly.
It's a good question. I don't know neither. Or, I mean, on the other hand, I'll tell you something. Like, for example, bazaar, on the other hand, like French bazaar or Italian bazaar,
Yeah,
they still have very often very interesting images from
agreed,
very good stylists. Like Robbie Spencer
agreed.
does a lot of French bazaar, and um, so why they do it there? I mean, it still exists. Maybe Vogue much less. Yeah, this is the Katie Barnett. Like they didn't even talk about this cover, but this for me is a fantastic work. I love Katie Barnett because, in
What
my
about the cover do you love, just out of curiosity?
I think that Katie Barnett for me is I put her very high in my preference as a stylist because even though she works a lot with black, which is a very difficult thing to do because if you take out all colors and you work with black and white, it has been done so much, it's very difficult to create something that has your own codes. And in this specific one, first of all, I like the image because it's very playful. And on the side also you have like illustration as well. I don't know if it's her who did the illustration or somebody else. Um, so what is interesting, I think, is even though you cannot tell what exactly she's wearing, the model as a brand, it looks contemporary. But you cannot tell if she's wearing fashion or not. You see? But and this is a very difficult thing, in my opinion, to do. Plus the fact that it's very playful with the dish and like that. I find this editorial is one of my very favorites. Not many people talked about that in terms of creativity and in terms of capacity. And you can tell it's her, which is a very difficult thing to do because she's just wearing black, the model. But the way she constructs silhouettes, Katie Barnett, and the way she does um, the character she creates, the kind of posing the models have, all that, it's
Yeah,
very personal to her, and she achieved to do that. And congratulations to her for that. This very interesting image. You see, if you do a close up, don't really know what exactly she's wearing.
yeah.
It's layering, beautifully layered. It's not one piece of clothing. You don't even know if she's wearing fashion. You cannot, you see, but it looks very today. And this is a very difficult thing to do. I mean, not to use the pieces of clothing themselves for you to bring an interesting image forth. This is a very difficult thing to do, in my opinion, because she only has to work there with the silhouette. She has to create a silhouette that looks of today. And that makes it like very challenging, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's why I appreciate so much this kind of work. It's difficult to do. I don't know if you agree in or if you see what I mean in that.
No, no, no. I definitely see what you're saying, for sure.
Like this is
And
a
I mean,
Bazar
it, it,
Italia, for
it
example,
stands
you see?
out
Yeah.
in a media landscape where like a lot of campaigns don't even like make sense. Like even I was talking about because the Vogue cover, right? Um, it was basically like part of the press run of Marty Supreme, which is Timothy Chalamet's film that he's, you
Yeah.
know, starring in, um, which is about a ping pong player. And the whole editorial, it seemed like they were trying to make it Dune themed, but it's like this is not the press run for Dune. This is the press run for Marty Supreme. So it's just a lack of understanding of like what is the mission, what are you even pushing, and not even knowing what they're supposed to be pushing. It's just so confusing. Granted, selfishly, I don't mind that fashion
Hmm.
is chaotic like this because it's why I'm a consultant and it's why I have a job in fashion. Because so many people are confused, but it really does like grind my gears sometimes when I see these, like really basic things that people can't
Yeah, yeah, me too.
get right.
Yeah.
Really, really odd. Just to talk about some more like imagery, just to get your thoughts. Um, because I know this is a
Yeah.
stylist that you're a big fan of. Can you
I
just
really
tell
love
us
him. Yeah,
about the
he's
work and then the images?
yeah. So Imre Asha is another stylist I love a lot. He is one of the very few that works with color. Very few stylists that are good in color. That's another thing. I don't know why. It seems to be very complex. In my opinion, is not. In my case, is not. Maybe it's a talent as well. I don't know. But like maybe stylists also think that doing black and white makes things always more intellectual. So photographers sometimes think that, they end up. I disagree with that. You can balance if you know how to balance color. It can be very. It can have a lot of layers and depth. So I like this work that he's doing. With a photographer, a Dutch photographer who is very known. This was, I think, Bazaar US. He did 2 or 3 editorials on that, and it was one of the few that I like that are outdoors. I like his take on color, the photographer's take on color also. This is the. This is another one. This is Bazaar Homme, which is the very first issue of Bazaar Homme, Bazaar France Homme. And for example, this is a great editorial because they went to the mountains to really do that. And he used like gears from mountaineering and hiking mixed with clothing. So from far, it doesn't. I have to show you the whole editorial for you to see because from the far images, you don't really see that. But I found it very beautiful, interesting work. Imre is very playful. That's why I like him. He's does unexpected things. He's in Dazed actually. He's not editor in chief. Like
Yeah,
what is the other
fashion
position?
director at
Fashion
Dazed.
director. Yeah, Dazed. So he's very playful. I like that. He has a very distinct. Like for example, you ask me what makes a good stylist. Again, we come back to the same thing: their identity. You have to develop, I think, your personal codes in terms of colorways, posing of models, silhouettes. Not silhouettes. The way you create silhouettes or the way you layer or what extra things also as a stylist you're creating other pieces. This is so cute. I find it so funny and interesting.
Yeah, but you can even
You
see
see,
through the
it's
styling, the
creative.
images
This is
have
creative
personality.
styling because he's a very talented stylist. So and he, of course, that's why he's in Days because he's that good. So yeah, I find this work very interesting. The Bazaar Om had, I think, more than one covers. He did one, and then Panos Giapanis did another one. She's my very favorite, actually. Um, you see,
Yeah.
it's very playful always. Even the posing, you can tell is Imra because of the way he's doing. So, I mean, once a stylist has their own vision and they create their own language, and they need to do that. You need to find what you need to say and how you're gonna say it. And then you use clothes from this season, other seasons, you create things yourself, you use things that are non-clothes, and then from that you build. And you become consistent, like he's very consistent in what he does. That's why he's a great stylist.
Yeah, we can
That's
talk
what makes
about
a
this
great stylist for
stylist
me.
too,
Ah,
because I know this is your favorite stylist.
because there is a reason for that. Not my favorite, but one of my like my top
Yeah,
five. Let's say Panos Giapanis is a legendary stylist who has been working with Rick Owens. I don't know if you know that.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
he's
I've
been
seen a
working with
few
Rick Owens
things.
many years. This is like the one just after. This is an old one. This one, the one after, is the one he did for Bazaar Om, where he is heavily layering always. Panos Giapanis, he has like a very chaotic kind of approach, but in his own way, it's very distinct. Um, I knew a friend of mine had told me once that one time he knew somebody who was at an editorial on the set at Days many years ago when Panos Giapanis was doing an editorial, and he had with him two seamstresses who were
Oh wow.
stitching things on the spot on top of the clothes. So I mean, this is the kind of stylists I want to see, like that
But
really
that's what I
take
was
things.
talking about with Tom, and they take it because they know exactly what they want, and there's nothing that's going to get in the way of them
Yes,
creating what they want. If they need to make it from scratch, they'll make it.
yeah. I find this very interesting. Um, and they were talking also at boring.com about one of the main, like, most interesting covers was that of Panos Giapanis on another magazine. And it's very interesting. You go a little bit more down, you'll find it. Not this one, the one where he destroyed, like well,
It was this
shall,
one, wasn't it?
no, it was another one.
Because I know this one people talk about a
This,
lot.
yeah, this was this one.
Oh, this one, this one. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
You cannot forget, you see an image like
yeah,
this,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
remember it. So he took, I think, I don't know if these are fashion old clothes or just old clothes, and then he reworked them. And then, this is like Martin has done that, Shalayan has done that, like, soil them and or oxidize or different, which creates texture, it makes it so interesting, simply experimenting with clothes like that. So very interesting work again. Um, Yeah, it creates, you see, so much texture. So this for me is really interesting styling, and it deserves to be seen because you remember it.
And that's why I don't understand why these stylists, when it comes to like the big money jobs, like the Vogues, where the money, the budgets are a lot bigger, I just don't understand why they aren't tapped. Why they keep tapping the same tired photographers and tired stylists that don't do anything interesting. I don't understand it.
I guess it's politics also, like who is in what position, who is chosen to be in what position. Look how beautiful that is. Um, yeah,
But that's the problem. Are people in fashion based on, I know you, so that I'm only going to work with you, or are we trying to make like good imagery that stands the test of time? Are you trying to make, clothing that stands the test of time? Are we trying to push the industry forward?
yeah, that should be the aim. I mean, I'm telling you, that should be your personal need, first of all, to express
Yeah,
before even being recognized. Like the first should be, I want to express that for myself, and then the rest should come. So if we start from the other way around, then you shouldn't be doing that job. I mean, you're not
yeah,
happy either. I mean, it's not fulfilling for you who is doing the job as well, I think, you see. It becomes like bureaucratic almost, like let's put this and this. And as you say, Vogue has access to so much, like budget wise. Like I love the fact
clothing
that
wise.
yeah, I mean, it's this is a very interesting editorial as well.
Willy Vanderpeer,
Hmm.
great imagery.
You see, and this is his very personal way of style of layering. He has that a little bit chaotic and like this kind of many layers of clothing. He does that very often. Too many textures, but that is his signature, and this
Yeah,
is very personal to him. Um, yeah. So once you have that kind of, but can
can't imagine this many stylists are hard to work with. Oh, he said some people are terrible to work with. Yeah, some
But
people,
then
I
it's
guess.
the character. I mean, the personality and the character. But this is everywhere. It's some people also might become terrible to work with because they're very selective. That's another thing. I'm sorry.
Which is a
Not,
good thing. It's a
yeah,
very good thing to be selective.
yeah, like
Because it
Anna
means you
Wintour,
won't compromise on your
or people,
vision.
they say, some people look very strict, but that's a different thing. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means that sometimes you just focus on your work and you want the best, and where you're very selective, you are going to look a little bit mean to some people, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean you're a mean person, But then, of course, there are many people that are like that, but this is everywhere. It's not only the fashion industry. It's everywhere is like this. Yeah, so when you go through the pictures, you can see like there is always a thread. Like when stylist is good, you can always see like a common denominator,
Yeah.
even if they're using
100%.
different. Is the way they approach the silhouettes, the way they approach how they're going to layer things, how they're going to position the models. So that's why a great stylist, you cannot copy them.
Yeah.
Even if you copy them, you cannot really copy them because it's a very personal, and yeah, that's an old editorial he did. This is for Givenchy. Yeah, Panos Giapanis is the
Oh,
only
amazing.
Greek. Mm.
Amazing.
This is older work, but he has worked with everybody. He has worked really with all the good photographers, all the good magazines. I think he's a collector too, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
himself.
he's not the only Greek stylist. There's also you.
No, yeah, I mean, on that level.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm not yet there, but I will be. I need some time, but a little bit of time. But yeah, I mean, in terms of very known stylist,
Yeah.
he's the only one.
Okay, another stylist I want to talk about.
Yes, yes, of course. Yeah.
So talk to us about this image.
I mean, this is what we were saying that, just a while back, that we take again images from the past and we recreate. Personally, I didn't like this editorial. I didn't find it inspiring or interesting. And I don't like when we take, but this is my personal, I don't like, taking back from the things from the 80s or from the 90s, especially from the 80s is not my era actually. So I'm not very, I don't know what's your opinion, like as an imagery, how you find it. I don't see anything particularly interesting in that. Maybe I'm missing something, I don't know, but it was very much focused on hair
Yeah.
and makeup, much more than clothes. But I mean, he does fantastic work. I have other examples of his work that are much more interesting in my opinion. But
Yeah,
like this is very, yeah,
I
he
think
does a lot of. Mm,
it was just weird and it didn't help because I think the whole editorial down to like even the font and like the placement of the text, I think everything just made it look, because it's like supposed to be retro themed,
yes, yes.
but then the text isn't retro and it's pink. So it's kind of like clashing with the actual theme of the photography and styling itself and the makeup.
Interesting that you say that. Yeah, that you would expect that everything should look like, yeah, retro.
Yeah.
But why should we do retro things? This is something I never understand. This is something is not me at all.
I think there's a time for it, to be honest. There's times when
Okay.
I think doing retro things makes sense depending on
Mm-hmm.
it just for me it depends on what is the editorial for,
Yeah.
what story are they trying to tell. Like if you're doing a campaign for Dario Vitale's Versace, then it kind of has to look retro
Yeah, yeah.
because it's kind of in theme with
Yes,
the
yes.
inspiration of the collection in the first place. So I think it makes sense to do it. Just depends on the context of the
On the
actual
context. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
campaign. But just doing it randomly, yeah, I think is a bit pointless.
Yeah. So he does a lot. I think uh he works with Di Republica a lot. And I love his styling. He's very sleek. His silhouettes are, he doesn't layer much. you can also recognize him, the hairstyle that he uses, again, the way he positions models. He used like a little bit of color here and there very often. He's very recognizable as well. And of course, as a stylist, he has been working for many, many years. He has done a lot of Italian Vogue. He has worked, I think, a lot with Suzanne.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of fantastic work in the past. So, of course, and he was consulting Versace for many, many years. I don't know if he still. I don't know. I don't think he's doing it now with his last collection for Versace. So yeah, he's a stylist that I love as well. But I don't know why this cover is considered so interesting. In my opinion, not. It's just an
Yeah.
example of a retro cover. You see, he uses a lot of black as well. He works with color very well, of course, as well. But his vision is always very clean, but with very interesting. It depends on the work. He uses a lot of gloves, for example. That he uses his color through that. These are a little bit simpler images, let's say.
Yeah, it's like the Hyder Ackerman Tom Ford stuff, so it makes sense why it looked like that.
Yeah, he does exactly. He was the
Yeah,
stylist, so he's that kind of stylist. Exactly. He's
yeah.
very sleek, there's a sharpness in the images very often. Great stylist there, nothing to say. Yeah.
Which is a good thing also, because I think as a brand, you kind of have to understand what stylist can tell your
Work with
vision the
you.
best.
Yes, exactly.
So
Exactly.
even like down to like as a creative director, when you pick stylists to work with, you have to think who can execute this based on what their style is. I think it's kind of weird if someone has like one stylist for everything. I think that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no. Yeah, of course. It doesn't. Like Katie Barnett, for example, she's doing for Dries Van Noten
Yeah,
now. Dries Van Noten now. And you can tell, with the things she puts on the hair, like there is this androgynous approach, and even though herself she doesn't use much color, and Dries uses a lot, but like the way the silhouettes are approached, it reminds me of her. There is an androgynous approach to it. Something a little bit, how to say it, a little bit monastic in what she does, a little bit, I cannot find the word. Yeah. So I think she fits very well. I don't know if she's consulting for anyone else, but I think for Dries Van Noten, she's doing great work. And he, of course, for Tom Ford is fantastic.
yeah. I mean, we've seen a lot of it. Like this campaign, we've all kind of seen it.
Yeah.
I feel like most people have seen this one. Another stylist I want to talk about, Robbie Spencer.
Mm.
What are your thoughts on Robbie Spencer?
What can I say about Robbie Spencer? He's also one of my very favorite ones. He's very intellectual, in my opinion. He has always a softness in what he does, a softness in his layering as well. There's always like a subtle touch. Very often here and there is not like Japanese that like the layering is like very extravagant and heavy on purpose. So this is Margiela, yeah. Which I'm not
Yeah,
sure
this
why
is
they did Miley Cyrus. Many
that
people
was
discussed
the
that.
famous one when they were like she's a brand ambassador and
Yeah, I think now everybody can become a brand ambassador for every brand. I think in the end of the day, like, I don't know, it's weird. She could have equally done, I don't know, maybe Dior or
yeah.
Chanel or what, it's yeah. I liked a lot this black and white, this You Republica that he did. We, but I mean, I like his work in general a lot. Like this imagery, it's very beautiful, very contemporary. He's layering softly. He uses a lot of checkers, a lot of natural colors. He doesn't use very strong colorways most of the times. Um, he does a lot of bazaar for France, and he's doing excellent work in my opinion because somehow he balances like what a commercial magazine should do, which is difficult, I think, to do, like what a commercial magazine does. But actually, there is also creativity in there, but not like he doesn't go
Yeah.
that far as he would go with other editorials. Like he has one bazaar, if you go a little bit more down, where he used different just I think it's just where is it? Because he does a lot of that. Yeah, here, like with all the stripes, where he like probably he took some cheap trench coat and he like created, how is it called? Fringes. He fringed it and
Yeah,
he took clothes that are fringed like Craig Green because he's consulting also for Craig Green. And then he fringed also like a t-shirt or things like that and he created layers of fringe. I found that so interesting. It's like a subtle thing, but it's
yeah,
interesting. You see what I'm saying? So, and even this very beautiful image. And it's good that these images, you can see them at French Bazaar.
yeah. Also, Connect Catwalk. Yeah, that's why we wanted to do a stream where we just talk about stylists because one, I have a stylist here with me, and I actually don't because we were talking about this. I don't talk about this a lot. Like I haven't talked about this on the stream. Like talked about stylists. Um, so yeah, really fun. But I'm sure some of you will realize when we start going through some of these editorials, like everyone here must have, because I've talked about this, seen this campaign, for example.
It was a very good campaign.
Um, yeah, amazing campaign, by the way. So I think sometimes people see this imagery but don't know like who is behind the styling and stuff. So
Yes,
the
yes,
more like
yes.
we talk about these styles, you actually realize you're quite familiar with a lot of their work. You just didn't maybe know that's who it was.
And it's a shame, because stylists very often are the creative eye. Sometimes even more than the photographer,
Oh yeah, 100%.
really. Yeah.
100%. A lot of times when I've been on set, actually, the stylists have all the ideas of like how the image should look more so than the photographer. The photographer just kind of takes the image.
Yeah. I mean, this is a more simpler editorial, but again, he has done other more layered things and other simpler things. But there is always this like little detail, little something that he adds that makes it very personal. If you can tell it's him, like he will have a polo very often, like checkers, as you see. You see this colorways, for example, here, it's very much
Yeah.
him. Um, yeah, I mean, subtle, but on point. You can tell he's a very good stylist. He was also fashion director at Days years ago. No.
Yeah, I will say, obviously, I don't like Days for other reasons, but I will say when it
Yeah,
comes to fashion imagery,
yeah, yeah,
like because Days, I think the writing is atrocious, but like so many other things about Days that's like,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
I agree with you.
terrible. But the
I
imagery
agree
has
with you.
always been good. Even like Ib Kamara and like some of those
Yes,
covers
yes.
were amazing. Like I think it was during COVID, they had this cover with the nurses. Let me see if I can find it. That cover was so good. Um, Let me see. It was like Days magazine. Let's see if I can find this. Can't seem to find it, but I'll look for it as we're talking. But that was a really good cover. So I think Days image wise anyway. It's kind of like ID too. ID image wise over the years they've had some like really good imagery and like they've had great fashion directors over the years.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it says a lot about like the smaller magazines and their eye for talent.
for sure. Yes. I mean,
Okay, who do
obviously, Kamara is a very good stylist, but he's not styling anymore. He's
Yeah,
doing other things. Maybe he said what he had to say because his images also were very strong and very, of course, very personal to him. So maybe he said what he needed to say through that. Sometimes when you create so strong images, like how I don't know for how long you can keep developing within that, or maybe he was just not interested anymore. He wanted to become a creative director, which is fine. But of course, if Kamara, many people know him. He's very good with color. He's very flamboyant in color. Is not my personal aesthetic, but that's just personal. It doesn't mean he's not a great stylist, of course.
yeah. I do like the way that he uses color. Okay, yeah, I found the cover I was talking about.
Uh,
Is this cover? Let me see if we can go closer.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was like around the time of like COVID and people were
COVID.
talking about getting like, vaccinated and stuff like that. Um, but no, he had some like really good covers at Dazed. So yeah, like I said, Dazed have had some like amazing stylists there and like fashion
Mm.
directors for sure.
Yeah.
Who else?
Yeah, they
Who else?
always play with different ideas. That's why Imre is so good in that because he likes playing and experimenting with ideas. Days in a way is very playful in what they do, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Actually, another stylist we talked about earlier before we hopped on the stream,
mm,
Raphael.
yes.
Talk to me about Raphael.
I haven't followed his work that much. Some of his work I like. This particular cover, I mean, it's interesting visually, but it's not something. I mean, when there is so much saturation in color and so much clash in color, usually is not my favorite personal. But if we go through the images, I would say it's creative
I really like a lot of the styling, to be honest.
from his work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think the
yeah,
use
he's
of
a good
color is
stylist. Yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the use of color. There's a lot of like movement in the images. It seems like that's
Yes,
like a signature to like have things moving. Even when
yes,
the models are stationary, it looks like the clothing is moving. So
yes,
a
yes,
model's still stationary. If we can go through, it's like okay, cool. The model is here, but look at like the position of the collar, for example.
yes, yes.
Um, I kind of like that. I really like that. Things
Mm-hmm.
being off center. So I mean, like it's a lot about like movement. Um, it's cool because it's different to like
Yeah.
a lot of other stylists. Like once again, models always in motion.
Mm-mm. Ah, definitely a good stylist. Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Yeah, so I like it. I do think signature wise though, Raphael
Mm.
is still like it seems like
Developing.
experimenting, yeah, and developing in terms of like having like a signature look because there's like still a bit of like chaos in terms of like let's say like the different colors. Sometimes you layer, sometimes you don't. Um, but it's coming. It's just with time.
Yeah,
Like stuff like this is completely different. Like completely different.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
But in
in
terms
a
of the
way,
movement though, it's still there. And of course
in a
this is John
yeah,
Galliano, so that makes sense. Like John Galliano Margiela.
yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah. I mean, yeah. There was a specific movement there, anyways, inspired by the catwalk.
And that's why like once again talking about creative directors picking the right stylist, you pick a stylist that already, uses movement in their work and it's a big theme. It's like a match made in heaven.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, once again, Paul Mescal playing football. But yeah, so the thing is, there's so many great stylists in fashion. It's just like that's why it frustrates me when sometimes I see editorials or covers at the top because it's just like we know so many good stylists that if like they were there, it would be a totally different conversation.
Mm, yeah.
Wait, let's see what Jennifer is asking. Please discuss. We use stylists for very different jobs. The creative print work we're discussing now, and then there's personal stylists, totally different jobs. We need new titles. Yeah, we touched on this earlier. It's like yeah, people that do like editorial and like campaigns, it's a totally different like category of styling to essentially what is a personal stylist, which is what like celebrity stylists are. Yeah, they're like two different things. I guess those are the two different work like editorial stylists versus personal, but maybe there needs to be a
Yeah.
bigger distinction.
But can I say something on that, just to add something? If we talk about, there are different categories, but if you are a very good editorial campaign, like fashion on that level kind of stylist, you can do all the rest,
Oh
but
yeah,
not the
because
other
it's
way around.
easier to do the
Exactly.
others. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the distinction. Yeah. That's like the top of the, in terms of difficulty, in terms of creativity, complexity, codes and all that. But then if you can do that, then you can do, video clips, and then you can do celebrity, and then you can do, probably not maybe film, because it's a different category altogether, but the rest you can do easily. I'm in terms of skill I'm talking. Maybe you need, we said other skills, but in terms of like for the clothing itself, it shouldn't be a
yeah.
problem. Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot easier to dumb down your creativity for a more commercial
Exactly.
job than it
Exactly.
is
Exactly.
to adopt creativity out of nowhere for
Exactly.
something that requires it.
Exactly.
That's definitely true.
Yeah.
So the most start off in personal style? No, it just depends. What kind of stylist you are. I mean, I went when I was in fashion school. Almost all the stylists were doing editorial stuff. Almost no one was doing. I mean, all of us were young, so I mean, who has access to a celebrity in the first place? So most of them start with editorial styling. I actually think that the worst stylists are the stylists that start with personal styling because they never develop their creative mind. They don't develop their signatures. They
Yeah.
just start dressing people, and that's where they end. Especially if they make like good money from it, they're just never going to progress.
Yes. Yes. Very true. And then maybe here we mean by editorial style, yeah, by personal styling, maybe they mean not even celebrity styling, because there is also like personal styling for
For themselves.
individuals, like wardrobe
Yeah.
stylists. I don't know if they mean that in the
Oh
comments.
yeah, like like
Maybe
personal
they mean
stylists and
that.
like Selfridges and stuff like that. Where
I don't
people are
know
just
because,
like, yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
mean, this is another level altogether. We are talking very, very different levels. Then it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
personal stylist is like, I mean, for a fashion stylist, it should be kindergarten stuff. It's like, how to fit like this with that, and a little bit of color. And this is another, I mean, they're not even comparable at all then at this point.
His personal styling. The
It's
thing is that
true.
most people, especially people that like aren't into fashion or not quote unquote fashionable, even though that's subjective, they just want to look good.
Mm,
And what looking good to most people is just I just want something. To be honest, it just means just get them clothes that fit. Most people
yeah.
look weird because they don't wear clothing that fits properly. And the second you fix that issue, they already look like a million times better. And that's like most of your job done as a personal stylist.
Yes, yes. Yeah, for sure. It's yeah, fitting is very important. I don't This is something that amazes me.
What the people wear
How
stuff
it's
that doesn't fit.
Yeah, it amazes me how they don't see it. I feel I mean it shouldn't be like a very difficult. I don't know, it's weird. Like, I'm not saying you should be doing complex combinations or wearing avant-garde thing, but like just fitting, or like do basic color. And it's so funny that people end up like black, white, brown, beige, they are so afraid of color. But then again,
That's like
it's a
me.
whole other discussion. No, you're not afraid. This is you like that.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah, you don't have a problem with that.
That's my signature, Yoji
Exactly.
and D Rick.
And yes. So, but then I say the thing is also when you want to wear color. That's
Yeah,
another thing. When you wear color but you buy cheap, we're entering another discussion. But where you buy cheap, the fabric is bad. All colors look bad.
yeah.
Like, I think there was one designer, I don't remember who was saying that there is no bad color, it's just bad fabrics. And it's very true. If the fabric is of great quality, all colorways look fantastic. Like, with the way the color reflects, it's so important. So people probably don't dare wearing colors because the quality of what they buy, if it's like poor, it's gonna show off awful, so they would prefer just wearing black, like more simple things. But then it ends up becoming, I don't know,
Yeah, I
non-saying.
always tell people that because I think some people think that some people think that buying cheap is like oh, we're saving money, right? But it looks bad. Like the clothing looks bad. Like sometimes I've seen like when people buy trousers from Shein
Yes,
and the way it actually drapes on the body is terrible because
that's what I was telling you. Yeah, the
it's
cut is,
so
but yeah,
flimsy. The trousers are so flimsy that like it looks weird, even when you the way it sits on your legs. And if you just invested slightly more and got like a nice, 100% cotton or 100% wool trouser, you don't even have to spend loads of money. Like people always have this misconception that it's going to cost loads of money. It will sit so much better. And then if it doesn't fit perfectly, that's why we have tailors. There, unless you live in an ivory tower, there are going to be tailors that are affordable. Just to like shorten the trousers, they'll charge you, €5. Or like
yeah.
if you're in a country like where I'm from, Nigeria, it's way less than that. So like it could be the equivalent of like 30p to shorten your trousers. So it's just about like knowing and being really intentional about these things. I think some people think it's like a haha moment when it's like, you guys spent so and so amount of money and I spent $1 on my Shein trousers. It's like I can tell. I can see that.
And they
I
think
can
it's
see.
smart what they did.
Yeah, because they think that they're saving money, but then they start complaining that why don't my trousers fit
Yeah, you
properly?
can save money by looking like a clown. Yeah, no problem. It's a choice. I'm like, there's basic decency when it comes to clothing. I mean, there are like you cannot, but I don't know. People they don't. People say they don't. That's another thing that people say they don't care about clothing, but I don't believe that neither. Very often they don't know how to dress, so they prefer to say that clothing is a very superficial thing, and I prefer to
Yeah.
pay attention. No, it's not. It's like it's part of you, who you are. It's part
You're
of who
like
you are.
you're my spirit animal. I've always thought that. Like when people, especially people that like aren't in the fashion industry or whatever, and because like I work in fashion, so people will be like, "Why do you talk about fashion so much?" Like it's such a frivolous thing, and then they're like, "I don't care about fashion,"
Oh,
and then
come
and then
on.
no, but then you look at the way they dress, and it's like you're probably just saying that because like you just know that you just don't know how to dress in a way that you like, so you just say you don't care about it. It's kind of like a
Yeah,
coping
people, I
mechanism.
always say that. Yeah, I always say that people that are snobbish about people who dress, and I'm not talking about people who dress to show off, I'm talking about people who really understand
Yeah,
and dress, well and for themselves. I always say it's out of your, insecurity that you're telling me this, nothing else.
yeah.
Um,
Clothing is how you present yourself outside of your bathroom. That's one way to put it. Also, Luke had a question earlier. Let me see if I can get
mm.
to that question because it was a while back. Okay, yeah, this is a question for you.
All this mindless archive pulling, which has become almost an Olympic sport, this insufferable law. He doesn't seem to like. Okay.
Clearly doesn't like Law Rich.
And his fetish for 90s fashion thoughts. I think pulling archival pieces, it's always an honorable thing and it should be there because otherwise, there are beautiful things that have been done that we can wear still today. And it's a beautiful reminder every time. But it shouldn't become a way to, how to say, to pull attention that I'll put that so that people can see that. Of course, I mean for Zendaya he did some great looks. We cannot deny that, for a celebrity, like it worked very well for her. But I don't think it's a bad thing to do. It depends for what is the reason you're doing this, and why not? I mean, why not using archival pieces? Why not remembering beautiful? I mean, the thing is also every few months we have new collections. So in the end, we forget completely what every brand has done. Like it's
Mm,
impossible, so many beautiful things have been done, and it's almost like for what? Like then you put them in the archive and nobody sees them again. So I think it's a good thing. It depends just how you do it and if you're just doing it for what reason. But other than that, I think we should remember great clothes of other eras as well, right?
yeah,
What do you think?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think so I think this is an issue with fashion, and this is honestly why current fashion critics, well, not all obviously, but a lot of them really annoy me because like they let designers get away with murder these days. I'll tell you what I mean because it goes back into styling. It's like okay, for example, let's talk about like Tom Ford because I
Mm.
talked about him like 2 days ago. So
Yeah.
Tom Ford is heavily inspired by Halston. He said this before.
Yeah.
Right. When was Halston famous? In the 70s and the early 80s, right?
Hmm.
Now, Tom Ford moved to New York as a college student around that time, so he was very inspired by what he was seeing, by the glamour, by the jet set lifestyle. He was going to like places like Studio 54
Yeah.
and like seeing like the nightclub and then like obviously like partying and like just being inspired by everything that was going on there at the time, right?
Yeah.
So when he went to Gucci, his whole idea is how do I recreate that energy? So it's not even just about the clothing, it's about like how can I recreate this jet set lifestyle? How can I recreate the sexiness that I used to see in the club in my own way? How do I
Yeah.
recreate all these things? So there's always like a good designers, there's always like a wider reason as to why they do things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Exactly.
when you contextualize that to someone like Sabato De Sano, who the Gucci team is like, you know, oh, let's do Tom Ford. We want to go back to the Tom Ford look. And it's like, there's no glamour, there's no Studio 54 energy, there's no 70s, there's no 70s inspiration, there's no lifestyle. It's just clothing. Of course it's not going to work. Like that should be obvious to someone in elementary school if they had like the context of what I just said. So it's like a lot of times like fashion critics, maybe because they don't have the context of like what I just said, will just be
Hmm.
like, that's nice. And I'm like, no, it's not. That's lazy. That's lazy because a good designer would actually like take it to so many different layers, like what I just said about Tom Ford and like
Yeah.
what he was trying to recreate. It's not just clothing, and you're not just copying something because like Tom Ford would be inspired by Halston, but it's not just the clothing he's referencing. It's the whole period. It's the whole era and what was
Yeah.
going in the era and what he experienced in that era. That's the whole thing that's encapsulated into what he's referencing. So I think once again, when it comes to like stylists and when they
Yeah.
pull archive looks, the
Yeah.
question I always think in my head is like, why are you pulling it?
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you are
Okay.
you pulling it because there's like a wider thing? There's like something you're trying to recreate. There's like a bigger story. There's like a
Yeah.
narrative that you're trying to create, or are you pulling this archive piece just because you want to say this is archive John Galliano Dior? Then that's just
Yeah. It's for that actually
bad.
most of the time. Yeah.
I know, and that's why it's bad. That's why it's bad most of the time. But when it isn't, it's good. When there's actually a reason behind it, there's a wider narrative, then it makes sense.
Yeah. But I mean, sometimes it's the piece of clothing itself that can be beautiful that you want to show. Is that, I mean, it's in itself is not bad. It depends again, right?
Once again,
Like,
that's what
does
I'm
it?
saying. It depends on like
Yeah.
what the whole thing that you're trying to do is. But a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah. Yeah.
stylists, which and you would know this, like they when they talk about the clothing, they'll be like, "This is archive John Galliano," and at that point, you know that it's for the wrong reasons because you haven't actually told us. You haven't spoken about the clothing itself. What's the significance of the clothing?
Yeah.
Why is it so important that you decided to
Yeah.
pull
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
Why do you
Yes.
think it fits on your client? Like these are all really important questions that need to be answered, not just yeah, oh my god, this is amazing. We were able to pull this vintage Holston. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is exactly the same as you were saying. We're gonna put like a Loewe. It's exactly the same logic. Like even if it's for contemporary clothes, it's just.
Yeah,
I mean, even though the clothes themselves should be the center of the discussion because we're talking about clothes, at the same time, it shouldn't somehow. It should and it shouldn't. Like, because then if it's not about the clothes at all, then we end up with situations like Balenciaga, where it was fantastic as a narrative with Demna. And then you go to the store, accessories are fantastic, and then it's just hoodies and big part of the clothes is not good. Then you have that also on the other, spectrum of this, that the narrative is fantastic. It creates a whole energy around it, but we want to see also great clothes. So I think it should be a balance between the two, you see.
100%.
Yeah. And now that we talk about them now,
Oh yeah,
hmm,
I didn't even mention Demna, but I think that Demna is kind of, he's not, definitely not like Sabato, like I said. Demna is doing it slightly different. So Demna is doing the Tom Ford thing, but he's creating characters. He's
yeah,
trying to create characters. So he's not fully there. He's like a third of the way there. Let me just say a third of the way there.
yeah. But yeah, that's a whole new discussion about what he did. Yeah. So we'll see.
What
We'll
did you
see.
think about the Gucci collection? I'm curious.
Like the first presentation he did, or now that it was what, pre-fall, or the
Both
latest
actually.
one?
I'm just curious. What did you think?
I didn't like it.
Both of them. Why not?
I mean, unless maybe I'm missing things because I didn't see the close up, and maybe there are techniques that are interesting. But me, I'm like a big fanatic of clothes themselves. Of course, characters are important, but I want to see interesting clothes. So for me, like especially in the last one, I mean, I don't feel I see something that I haven't seen.
Well, you're correct because he just took well, the first collection was a mix of like Frido Giannini, Alessandro Michele, Tom
Mm,
Ford,
mm, mm.
even like older things like Gucci Gucci, Aldo Gucci, and just taking all those things and then just like recreating it and modernizing it slightly. And then this pre-fall collection is more of just like kind of doing the same thing, but just it being more Tom Ford heavy than anything else.
Yeah, but is it my impression, or the way the models are shot and the way they're holding the bags and all that? It reminds me of Balenciaga a little bit.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
see what I'm
definitely.
saying? Yeah, yeah. Which is like, I mean, Demna was fantastic in that. We have no, yeah, I mean, he did great things for Balenciaga in terms of creating a whole movement around it. But I mean, I'll tell you an example. Rick Owens also has created a whole movement around what he's doing, but he's also doing fantastic clothes that are very
Yeah,
much his own signature. I want to see both, and both is difficult to do. Or like Ackerman, it reminds us of Tom Ford, but we see new pieces of
his
clothing,
own.
new
Yeah,
techniques. You see, we see interesting clothes as well. Like he recreated the full atmosphere, but also like the choice of model was so contemporary. I really loved their hair and how the faces were fantastic, all very strong faces, which was not necessarily Tom Ford Gucci. Tom Ford era, I'm sorry. He
yeah, and
doesn't, I don't remember
even
him using. So he injected new things. But I mean, you need to inject new things on other levels, in my opinion, as well, besides the character. Otherwise, you fall into that, you know, kind of. I mean, Demna can do that very well, for sure. He can do that. But what he's suggesting in terms of clothing, like where you actually go to the store, or where you go to, because if you create a character, then if I take this piece of clothing to style it for an editorial, if I take it out of the character, will it still be interesting to do? This was such a fantastic show, the way it was presented, the models. This is all leather, by the way.
yeah, and it's very Tom Ford. It's like it looks
It's Tom
like
Ford,
a
but in an Ackerman way, you see.
yeah.
So like he put he didn't copy. He got inspired, like you said. Tom Ford got inspired by Halston, and then but he did
But
himself.
made it
So
his
yeah,
own. Yeah,
yeah, and this is a difficult thing to do for designers. But Ackerman he has great craftsmanship. I loved him when he did also Gautier. So he can do that. He works a lot with detail. He's very, very good at this. So yeah,
Luke
but
wants to
Demna
know
is
what you
not
think
that.
about JW Anderson Dior.
I love, I love J.W. Anderson in whatever he does. I don't know why we are saying that he
I
was not.
definitely don't like it.
You don't like it.
No.
You don't like what he's doing at Dior.
Okay, so the
Okay.
women's wear show I didn't think was bad. The first
Yes.
menswear show is definitely better than pre-fall.
Yes, I agree.
Pre-fall I think is the worst thing he's done in a very long time. Like Dior pre-fall.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think
I
that
agree on
that might
that.
be
But
yeah.
for me, I don't even count, these intermediate things that are like
That's what everyone says. It's like filler collection
yeah, because
because
like
it's a
pre-fall,
pre-fall collection.
and then like, nobody pays attention at that. Like, so he has to do like some diluted version of poor him. Also, he has to do so many things. Like, I mean, it's also very tough on them that they have to create all the time. I mean, I liked some pieces, but definitely, of course, it's not something very interesting to me neither. I like the
Yeah,
location. On the other hand, like he started taking elements from other um, historical clothing and other eras, which is very interesting. I think it gives it like a very luxury. I like to see what he's gonna do with that, and if he's going to take it with the hats and all that he did. But I agree with you. Pre-fall was nothing, to talk
yeah.
much about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think with the menswear and the women's wear show, even though I didn't like every look, because
No, me
one
neither.
one, I think the women's wear collection needed severe editing because there were so many looks. We saw some of the same looks like four times in different colorways. That could be made into just one look because then
You're right. I
the
agree.
the less that's on the runway, the more memorable it is because you don't
I
have
agree
to
with
look
you.
at so
Yeah.
many things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it becomes more memorable. People remember the looks, people remember the pieces. You don't need to show us multiple colorways of the same thing
Mm-mm.
on a runway show because it just prolongs, it makes the runway too long.
Yeah.
Now there are too many images and then people don't really remember it as much.
For
Um,
sure. Yeah.
so that definitely could have been edited, but there's some in the women's wear collection, especially. There's some really nice pieces in that collection.
I mean, I liked not all the pieces. Me neither. I didn't like them, but I liked the energy that was like the image, the idea of the silhouettes and all that, the hats and how he created some of the dresses, the volumes he created. In that sense, I find it like I want to see what he's gonna do. I want to see him developing in that
Mm.
line, and it can become very interesting. You know what I'm saying? The way he draped some of the dresses,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he
yeah, I know
doesn't
what
do
you're
it
talking
like he
about.
was doing at Loewe. He's doing it in a different way. So in that I admire him, that he like somehow he molded it into for another house. It doesn't look Anderson and it doesn't look Loewe, but you can tell it's him. You see,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? In that I like him and I respect him for that. But of course you're right. It should have been edited. I like the accessories as well. I would wear that Dior. The previous Dior I wouldn't wear, but that Dior, some of the pieces I would definitely wear.
Someone said it
Now
feels
this
like
is
the
so
knives are
this
out for JWA. Think people need to chill. He's still interested. No, I never said he's
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. We are
just said
saying, of
that
course.
all I've said is that his pre-fall collection was atrocious. That's all I've said.
No, I
But
think the comment is yeah,
in terms of like generally, I've always been a JW Anderson fan. I still am.
yeah, me too. No, I think he's talking. The comment is about in general. There are comments around about J.W. Anderson because he got like
Yeah.
3 awards in a row. I think, in 3 years in a row. Why we keep giving it to him? I think there was a lot of discussion around that. It's
Oh,
not that
okay.
us. Yeah.
So my thing with that, because I think the difference between me, I guess, and when people just like say stuff on Twitter is like I always give reasons. But like if we're talking about the British Fashion Awards and him winning three times in a row, the reason why I don't think he deserved it is because
Mm-hmm.
he just didn't have that much work out this year. So this
Yeah.
year,
Yeah. On that. Yeah.
his namesake label was
Yeah.
having a revamp, so he basically didn't do any shows. Then with Dior, because he was like new, so he had to take time. So he designed the menswear collection, the women's wear collection, and then voting happened. So when JW Anderson
Yeah.
basically won all the votes, he had only done two collections. Now,
Mm.
comparing it to other people that were on that like Rick Owens, who I think was probably more deserving,
Yeah.
who's had way more output. I think he's had a great year. He had the exhibition this year. He's done.
True.
I think his output has been a bit stronger than JW Anderson. If we're talking about this year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I say that as a JW. I can be a JW Anderson fan, but still say that Rick Owens probably deserved that award a lot more than JW Anderson for this year specifically.
Yeah. Like I think this is a fantastic dress. The little capes and yeah, yeah, this one. I like how he draped it in his own very personal way. The capes are good.
Yeah, and the capes are kind of like
Very youthful.
a continuation from because the menswear and the womenswear show they
Yeah.
kind of had a lot of like even the Delft dress became like the skirt and like the frock coats became like the cape in the women's wear show. So there's a lot of like a crossover.
I I think he will pull more things from historical clothing and he will inject them in his own way, which I find so fascinating. I think he will do that. I think he will develop well in Dior. That's my that's yeah, that's what I think would happen with him. That
I
seems to
hope
suit
that
him.
JW Anderson makes like I've always thought he was really good at like homeware and like all those kind of like furniture designy things. Like even at his
Mm,
eponymous label, like he'll make like random things.
yeah, yeah.
Like he'll literally like make like ceramic plates and they're like really cool and it'll like be historically inspired or something. I hope he brings that to Dior. That could be really
That would
cool.
be yeah, that would be very interesting. Yeah. I love this look. So beautiful. It's a new image, you know. It doesn't remind me of something, and that's a good thing.
Mm. It's kind of
Let's
like
see.
basically what he's doing at Dior, which I think does kind of work in the first two collections, but not in
Mm,
pre-fall, is he's taking historical clothing
mm.
and mixing it with Dior. So like in the first show, it was like 17th and 18th century menswear.
Yeah,
And then he's mixing it with Dior archives and
yeah.
silhouette, and then taking all of that together and seeing how can I modernize it. That's basically
Yes,
his whole thing that he's been doing.
yes, yes, exactly. I think it's very fascinating to take historical clothing and a good challenge for a designer and bring it to today. I
But I
mean,
just
because some
don't.
other, yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the only thing I don't understand though, like I feel like a lot of the Dior red carpet looks have been like really bad. Most of it actually is because the clothing is too big on the client. So I don't know if it's like
A fitting problem, maybe.
yeah,
I
like they're
think
just
so.
not pulling the right sizes for the client. So like the
I think.
samples are in,
Yeah. And also,
certain
I mean, some of the dresses, like this black dress, for example, like with these weird kind of curves, it's not for all kind of celebrities to wear. It's like very, the Dior that he
yeah,
is creating, many of the looks are, you have to have that kind of energy to wear that. It's not for everybody. I cannot
yeah,
imagine all celebrities wearing, some might look very weird even, They might feel even very uncomfortable wearing that kind of Dior. It's a very modern playful kind of Dior, and it's not for everyone. All this hat, well, the hats, no, but I remember the dress that one of these dresses. I don't remember which color it was, but I remember somebody wore the dress, right? And it looked almost awful. I remember that it didn't look good at all.
yeah.
It must be the fitting.
Because the fit, like the way they fit on a
Who wore
red
it even? I don't
carpet.
remember. And also how the whole styling is, if you do that with a very classic hairstyle and makeup, and it might look awkward even. Because if you see the hairstyling of the model, it's very contemporary, like, very like very simple hair. There is nothing.
Yeah,
So if somebody in the red carpet, they wear it like if it was a gown with like a hairstyle that is more of the usual ones we see. But this kind of dress, it looks weird. I don't remember what was the hair of the.
this is true. Back to that fit discussion, it's fundamental. 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Ah, yeah, yeah,
so fundamental.
yeah. Especially for this kind of, for everything actually, for
Like
everything.
something can be amazing and it just doesn't fit right and it looks crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Jennifer. Yeah, he did do the capes at Loewe.
but differently.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course, you can tell it's him. It's good also. You can tell it's him. You should be able to say it's this
as far
designer.
as bag sale, oh no one care the clothes. Yeah, but it's like the conversations I have about designers is not really about. Well, I talk about sales sometimes, but I'm not Bernard Arnault, so that's not like my goal. Like I feel like as a
Mm,
journalist that I think about like narratives, I think about like legacy, like those kind of things. Because as a journalist,
yeah,
like I might be the person that writes a book about a designer 20 years from now when I've been in the industry forever. So I
yeah,
always think from that perspective more so than how many
of
bags sell.
course.
Like no one cares how much McQueen sold. Everyone says that McQueen is like a top five designer of all time. It doesn't matter
Mm,
who anyone is. Almost everyone has McQueen in the top five. No, no one even talks about if he sold or he didn't sell. So that's more about that's a
yes,
legacy conversation. So I think
exactly.
those are like two separate things.
Mm,
And sometimes when I critique clothing, it's not really about what the bags are going to sell, if that makes sense. It's about like the merit of the clothing and kind of,
that is
the
not your,
inspiration. Yeah,
yeah,
how
it's
strong
not
is
your,
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I would say, even talking about that, because I saw the accessories, he managed to bring that balance. The accessories are very interesting, and I think they will sell very well. As a little parenthesis on that, so he's
Yeah.
good in doing that as well, which makes it, a good. He can do that. Loewe was the same. The bags I
Which
think
is,
were
yeah, he was
selling,
very good at
yeah,
that at Loewe.
and at the same time creative. So fantastic. This is not an easy thing to do also. But of course, it's not the point of discussing that here. It's not about that for sure. So how could we care less about the bags?
But no, is just like sell a million bags and
This
you can
thing,
keep your
this
job.
thing with women and buying, being interested only in bags, it fascinates me. I don't understand it. I
Oh
find
my
it so
god, what
weird.
did
I
I
find it
what did
so.
I see the other day? What was I watching? It was today. I can't remember what it was, but I was watching a video and it
Mm.
was this woman who was like, "Oh, I shop in like, oh yeah, there's a content creator I found so random, and he's like this really tall guy, and he goes around finding like the tallest people in every city. So he'll like do an event. It's so I don't know how I found it. I think it was Dami that sent it to me. Um, so he'll like go to a city and be an event like tallest people come to this event, and then he'll start like trying to find out who the tallest person is. So anyway, he interviewed this woman who was like I think 6'6" or something, and he was asking her like, "How do you get clothes?" And she was like, "Oh, I just shop in like Shein and Pretty Little Thing and all that sort of stuff." And I looked at her outfit, and she had like this really expensive Dior bag that she was wearing. So like everything she was wearing was like from Shein, but then she was holding like a really expensive Dior bag. It's just fascinating because it's like when you said like people's obsession with like expensive bags and stuff. It just reminded me of that. I literally saw that today.
I think it's just people are like people, they don't even think, they just copy each other. So because it seems that people like bags, then new women come and say, why not like bags? Like they
Yeah.
don't even think for themselves, like, why should I buy more bags? What's the point of this? Like, what's
I
the
think
point? There
having
is no
bags is
point.
good, but I think
Yeah,
maybe
of course,
we're
having
just
bags is
thinking like
good.
fashion people. I think if you think like a fashion person, like how I think is like, for example, if I think now, I think my wardrobe has the strong points of my wardrobe: outerwear and footwear. The weak point of my wardrobe is like trousers. So I personally know I need to get more trousers. Or I need
Yeah,
a bigger variety of trousers. But that's because I think like a fashion person. I'm like, how do I
yeah.
balance my wardrobe? But some people just don't think like that. Some people just think bags on bags on bags and bags, which is fine if like what you like are bags. Everyone has a vice. It's
No,
just
it's not what
interesting.
they like. It's just because all women do that, so all women do that. There is no explanation.
She's like no.
But I mean, can you tell me, like, all women naturally like bags? For, what is this about? Well, no, it's just, Then they compete with each other. Women compete with each other, which is so unfortunate. So, they're competing on which Saint Laurent bag they will have, which Dior bag they will have. And like for me, I cannot stand this that
Yeah.
people buy expensive accessories and cheap clothes. This is something I cannot tolerate. But what can I do?
Wait, your friend wears a US 13. A woman. Is she like really, really tall? She must be. She
What was the
must be.
question?
No, just talking about like because the designers are not cater for all sizes. My friend is looking for a size 13 shoe. I love my bags and give them to friends and nieces. Unlike shoes, bags have no sizes. Yeah,
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 but
one
maybe they
hundred
don't.
percent, 100%.
Yeah,
But
of
then,
course.
but then, but then, but then, but then, a Chanel classic flat bag right now is like £10,000. I don't know what it is in dollars, but it's definitely going to be like more than 10K. So it's
Yeah.
like, how many trousers, jackets, dresses, and shoes can you get for 10K? A lot.
Okay.
You could, with 10K, you could build a whole wardrobe. So it's like, once again, I just think it's about balance. I think it's
Yeah.
good to have bags, and yes, you can't, pass these things down, but it's like, if you can spend 11, 12, 13, 14K on one bag,
Yeah.
you've got enough time, you've got enough money to like build a wardrobe.
You want me to break it down for you because the reason is very simple. It's just show off. That's all. And women competing with each other. No, but seriously, that's all. It's a social thing. It's so interesting when you watch how people like behave in terms of clothing. It's very like like a social experiment. You watch and then you see people doing the same thing, all of them, and then you wonder why. But when they are doing the same thing, is because they are competing with each other. So to compete on the same level, they will do the same thing, and then they will buy. And then women, a sign of I don't know, an elegant woman might be a good bag. It starts from there, and then you end up, having this obsession about just bags, even though the rest is, whatever. Um, and then they end up when it's so funny at the same time because they end up dressing the same way, behaving visually the same way, but then somehow feeling that they're competing with each other. But if you're the same, there is no even point to compare. You're just the same. You're
Yeah.
gonna buy from the same bags, you know. Exactly. Bag is a status symbol. It's just, to show if I have a Chanel, that means I can afford. That's all. It's unfortunate, but it's that.
Yeah. It means a lot more when it comes. Do you know something funny? So this sounds really crazy, but I realized I can't compliment women unless they're my friends, because people always think I'm hitting on them, and it's really weird. So like a lot of times when I was younger and I used to like
Because you work
compliment
in
women
fashion,
on,
that's why they don't
yeah,
understand you.
because I work in fashion. Like, I'm like, oh, that's a really cool outfit, and they're like, I'm like, yeah, I can't compliment women.
That's so funny. Yeah.
They like think I'm hitting on it. It's like, no, I actually just like your shoes.
Yeah. It's true.
But I understand why they respond that way. I'm sure a lot of men go up to them and like try to talk to them and use that as like a way. But I'm like, no, I just actually like the way that your dress drapes as a fashion person.
Yeah, probably she hasn't even noticed how it drapes,
Yeah.
you
So I
it's
do
funny.
find it interesting that women do say that it means a lot more when it comes to another woman, because I think that comes from an understanding that women, when they compliment you, it's coming from a good place. Like it's not coming from a place where like they're trying to speak to you or like get with you or something. They just genuinely. But there are some guys that actually just like your clothes. That was me in the past. Now I don't compliment women anymore, so that's not a
Yeah.
thing.
Or they would think you're gay. Like
Yeah,
if you
a
work in
lot, a lot
fashion,
of a lot of
automatically.
women think I'm gay. To be honest, I don't have an issue with it.
Because
It's
you
just
work in
interesting.
fashion. But it's fine. It's just like like a stereotype. That's all.
I don't have any problem
It's
with
not a
it.
bad or a good thing. It's just a stereotype. Because of course, the biggest percentage of males working in the fashion industry, it's true. They are gay, which we have no problem with. But it's so funny that people create these stereotypes and they put, a label on you immediately. It's like that,
I mean,
you know.
stereotypes always come from somewhere, right? So it's like even
Yeah.
when I was in fashion school, in my class there were only two straight men and everyone else was gay.
Ah, you see, yeah. So
So
there
it
is a
comes
reason
from
for that.
somewhere,
Yeah, yeah, of
yeah.
course.
A
Yeah,
stereotype
definitely. Yeah,
comes from somewhere.
yeah, 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 of course. Yeah. Oh my God, clothing. Yeah,
So I'll be
that's a
happy
whole
if
other
I
discussion.
complimented my fit. No, so once again, I compliment my friends. Like if I saw Anastasia, well, I compliment you all the time. Actually, I compliment your outfits all the time. But if I see like my friends wearing like a really cool outfit, then I'll compliment them. But that's because they know me, so it's
Yes.
different. They know I'm just complimenting her outfit. But if I just talk to a woman on the street, she's going to think I'm trying to hit on her. So it's like it's a bit complicated.
It's true. It's true.
Wait, everywhere on menswear at my college is straight mostly. That's different. On a fashion
Hmm.
menswear course. That's different. That's very different.
Yeah.
One or two are gay, really? Times are changing in fashion. Straight men have found their love for clothing. Who would have thought we'd see the day? That's crazy.
Especially when you see how they dress, straight men.
I know. I know.
Ah, that's so awful.
I have no defense. Do you know what it is? So even because I like as just a journalist in general, I subscribe to people in fashion on every side of the spectrum. So there's some
Hmm.
people that I follow on like Instagram or like YouTube that are like super conservative like menswear. And it's
Yeah.
so funny. Like these men can't even wear pink, which doesn't make sense because in menswear, pink is actually a very essential color. Like you wear a pink shirt with a blue suit, like a navy suit.
Yes.
So it's like, but their like hyper masculinity doesn't even allow them to wear like a pink shirt, which is actually a menswear thing. It's so weird. It's so strange.
This is so interesting because if you look back, so many things were so different. Like to be masculine. I mean, if you look at historical clothing, the men were wearing higher heels, have had higher wigs, bigger wigs than
Yeah,
women. Big shoulders, like if you see, like for example, 16th century, like the amount of shoulder that was like their shoulders was up to there, and jewelry and pearls, and it's so interesting, and like the kind of skirts, very short, not exactly skirts, how they had another name, how it's called, and breeches and all that, so
yeah,
it's so interesting how it's all cultural and very European oriented also, because in Asia, in Africa, men still wear a lot of color.
yeah. Where I'm from, wearing color is normal. So like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
exactly.
extremely
So,
normal.
yeah, there are no colors for men or for women. This is such a weird thing, actually, that we ascribe colors to men and women.
It's just so fascinating that people still think in that like archaic way where it's like a color is like so it's like oh my god my masculinity will be affected if I wear pink. It's like
Your
it's
masculinity
just
must
a
be very
color
fragile then.
literally. But it's funny because they don't think that. They
Yeah.
don't think that. They would think if I said this, like if they were listening to this conversation, they would say I'm coping because I want to wear pink, and I'm like they'll probably start calling me like homophobic slurs. Probably that's what they would say.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. This is all illogical. It's and a very superficial way of thinking, It's a coding of things that doesn't have any depth, any layering. It's just stupid in the end of the day. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah,
And the way also men want to see women dressed and the way women dress for men, that's another whole discussion. That we should all ascribe to the same silhouettes, that should look sexy, we should show our waist, our legs, cleavage, all these kind of things. Otherwise, you're not feminine enough, you're not this enough. This is
yeah.
so, it's
Which is
but
weird. The whole like policing of how women dress is insane. But once again, these guys that I'm talking about, this like ultra conservative, like super like hyper masculine like side of fashion, they are like, yeah, you're not a real woman if you don't wear stilettos and like
Yeah.
an LBD to like the function. If you're by my side, and it's like, it must be great to date you. It
But
must be
actually, this,
amazing.
but I mean, this kind of women very often fit this kind of men. That's why they are dating each other. Let them be.
Yeah. I
And it's
feel
like,
like I genuinely feel like the only reason
I cannot.
someone
Yeah.
could date these kind of men is because of money. Because it's like they're so insufferable. I just cannot think of any other reason why you would. It's just like they're so insufferable.
But there are many women with bad taste as well, huh?
True.
That's what I'm telling you, they
True.
fit. I mean, 80% of the population, not to tell you more, is like that.
She's not having it. She's like, yeah, but they
But
have
it's
bad
true.
taste.
That is true. They have actually no taste.
Let them eat each other. Okay, this is an
But is this?
interesting question. What do you think about the way gay designers perceive women?
That's an interesting question. It depends. I cannot make a rule out of it. I would say some are very sensitive about it, and I like McQueen. He was a great defender of women. He wanted his women to look like he really created strong women, you know. So it depends on what kind of gay, because we, again, categorizing gay or straight, it depends on the person, you know.
Hmm.
What, like, it doesn't mean because you're gay, you're going to have a specific perception of how a woman should look like. Like Olivier Rousteing woman is different than an Alexander McQueen woman. They're both gay. Or Galliano woman, you know, or Margiela woman. Like, how you go, you cannot really compare. How you go, I mean, Dries Van Noten woman. I
Hmm.
think it has to do with how the sensitivity of the person and how much culture there is and how much layering there is in their way of thinking. And if there is enough depth, they're going to create like a very sophisticated version of a woman. Either it's sophistication the McQueen way or the Dries Van Noten way or whatever kind of way. The less layering there is, the more superficial the person is. They're going to create a sexier woman, maybe. What they would project, they would, because some gay men, they want to look sexy themselves, so they're going to project that on women. But it doesn't mean that because a designer is gay, that they are necessarily going to have a wrong vision. Or that, like, of course, a female designer might maybe think about the everyday woman and create things that are more functional than more idealized, maybe in that sense, like, you know, the new in Bottega, or I mean, there are examples of that, or Phoebe Philo is a very good example. It has been discussed a lot. Phoebe Philo kind of woman, a very sophisticated intellectual woman who doesn't show much skin, but is very feminine at the same time and contemporary. But then there is Jill Sander kind of woman
I'm
who's
trying to
created by
think
a couple. I cannot say, you know, it's
what
difficult to
woman
say.
designs clothing right now for women that's like sexy in that way. Because when I think of the women that design clothing,
Donatella, just recently.
okay, yeah, yeah,
Versace,
Donatella.
you know?
Because it's like most of them end up being Phoebe Philo, like going the Phoebe Philo route. It's like
Yes.
the
Yes.
Row, Bottega. They're all kind of in that like Phoebe Philo direction. So that's cute. I'm trying to think about even outside of Donatello, is there anyone else who like designs in that way? It's interesting. Because you would think that there'll be designers that just the same way, like even like gay men that are designers in fashion, they're all across the spectrum. So they're making things from like the Phoebe Philo looking things, whether that's
Exactly.
like, you know, Peter Doe or someone like that, to the ultra sexy things.
Mm.
And then
Yeah.
things in the middle, like what Pietro Emilia is doing at Alaya, for example. There's like the whole spectrum.
Fantastic work, by the way. I love his work. He's so good at Alaya. I really like
Lemaire
Alaya.
is more like
Yeah.
when I'm thinking more like I feel like Lemaire is still in that realm of like intellectual. It's kind of like going towards that Phoebe Philo
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
that I'm
for sure.
talking about.
I think in the end we will not have enough sexy clothes. Now that I think about it,
So Stella used to design the sexiest clothing at Chloe.
she still does.
Yeah.
She still does also certain sexy things. She does beautiful short dresses. Yeah, Stella McCartney.
Mm.
Who is doing?
Martine
Um,
Sitbon. Yeah, that's true. Obviously, if we start looking into the past, there's quite a few I can mention. I was just thinking about now
but
because I'm
now it's much less.
yeah.
It's true. Like
Even
if I think
at Marnie, she doesn't design in a sexy way either.
who
Um, what's her name? Just skip my mind.
who
Let me Google
for
quickly.
mm.
Creative director of Marnie.
You know, yeah.
Oh yeah, Meryl Rouge. Yeah, she doesn't design in that way either. So it's like very, it's interesting. It's just fascinating to see.
There
Probably
is
says a
much
lot
less.
about like the political climate we're in because
Exactly.
historically we had like Bibba and like Mary Quant and like all these people designing in that way. So it's very interesting. Actually, yeah, Delara is a good example. Delara is a good example actually.
Mm.
That's a good example.
Yeah.
Discuss
Migler
who don't know how
now.
to make clothes now. Unfortunately, it's the sad explanation. I can say as an inspiring design, people do not have these skills now compared to 30 years ago. Um, is it a skill thing? I'm trying to think. Do you need skill to design in a sec? Because we're not saying whether it's good or bad. We're just saying who designs in that way.
Yeah. It's a different style. Much less sex. It's exactly what you said. Uh, it, Times have changed, so the way but it's very interesting that because fashion is always ahead of time, what we see on the catwalk is not necessarily what is reflecting in how people dress to go out.
Mm-hmm.
It's because still most women will wear like a stiletto and a sexy little dress, and it's not. They're not gonna wear. You're not gonna see many women wearing the Phoebe Philo or Marnie or this is.
Yeah.
Again, it's so interesting that fashion is only in the end for people who work in fashion in a way, and it's like so much in the future. But it's true. In the past, the silhouettes were so different also. And now, if I think about it, if you want to pick up something sexy, like not in a vulgar way, but like in a nice way, which brand are you gonna choose from
Yeah.
for a woman? There are not that many, which is not a bad thing. It's just it has changed. At
It is
least for the people.
fascinating though because
It is.
like I covered the hype around the Rose sample sale and the whole, craze around that time.
Mm-hmm.
But the weird thing about the sample sale was when I looked at the hauls people were doing on TikTok, like they would spend like 8K, 10K on like the row. And you look at the pieces that they buy, it's like you claim you're obsessed with the row, but
Yeah.
you won't commit to the aesthetic. Like you're buying all the trendy pieces like the flip flops, some t-shirts, the Margot. You're not you don't want to actually commit to the aesthetic. You don't want to become like an intellectual sort of like man repeller. Like that's kind of it's what it comes with. That's
Man
but they
repeller,
don't
you
want to
said.
they don't want to commit. Yeah, man repeller is just like. Do you remember when I'm not sure if it's still around like the magazine like Man Repeller?
Mm.
It's just like to me my understanding of Man Repeller is like when you act in a way or you dress in a way that's like intellectual so it like pushes away men that are very surface level.
Yeah.
So like when people say oh that's like a man repeller aesthetic or whatever it's like
Yeah. I
it
understand. Yeah, I
means you
see.
have like an air
Yeah.
of like whatever. It doesn't mean like no man is ever gonna like want to
No,
step
no,
me.
no. I understand.
It's
Actually, you
yeah
repel
like
the
not
ones
not for the male gaze exactly
you
exactly
you repel the ones you don't want. So that's a very good thing.
exactly
Just by dressing, not even talking. It's so good. It works so well. In my case, it works very well.
Yeah, I don't know if that magazine still exists. That was actually iconic. Like Man Repeller was so big when I was like first getting into fashion. I actually used to like read it. Um, Interesting. But there's a culture of shopping sample sales in NYC. Yeah, same in London and probably Paris
I
too.
mean, what you're saying is the same level of commitment with somebody who loves Margiela but only buys a tabby. It's
Yeah,
exactly the same thing, you know,
yeah. You don't want to
because
commit to the.
because you cannot, because in the sense that it's not you. If it was
Mm,
you, you would, but you want to show that because Roe is very intellectual, which again, you know, it's not authentic. We conclude the same thing. It's not authentic because it doesn't come from your need to express through that because you don't want to be perceived as intellectual, or you probably you're not, which is not necessarily bad. It's just you're not. So you don't, you know, like Margiela, he it's for a specific type of woman.
yeah.
If you wear it, it's like, and you want to look, if you want to wear Margiela, but your concern is how your waist will look like, or if you want to have a nice feminine silhouette, you shouldn't be wearing that brand.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
not what Margiela is for. You should wear a Laya or something else.
Yeah.
That's
So,
along those lines. Yeah. So Luke, when we say the row is intellectual, we don't mean that when you wear the row, you'll have a PhD in physics. It's not that kind of like. It's not that kind of intellectual. It's more like it's more it's intellectual in the sense of like you're cultured. It's like if you wear the row, you probably go to art galleries, you probably eat at like more interesting places than the average person. That's what we mean when we say intellectual. We don't mean like these people all of a sudden get like plus 50 IQ points or like
yeah. But again, it's a superficial thing. Like, what does intellectual mean? You know, and for me, true intellectual is somebody who has personal style. If we talk
yeah.
truly about intellectual, because that means you have, and we discussed about it. It's like there are layers in the way you think and in your influences, your life, all of that, what you have read, what you have been through, all these things. I mean, it's part of life also, you know. Is that you don't build a, you don't become an intellectual just like that. You don't become, it's like I was saying, you don't become avant-garde. Actually, avant-garde, for example, that's another good example. You don't become avant-garde because you're going to wear comme des garçons. Avant-garde is a persona. You're avant-garde as a person because you're unique.
100%.
Avant-garde, what does it mean? You're unique. You know, you're very unique in the way you think. You're forward. You're open, much more than most people. So you can wear this kind of things because you're like that. Not that you're going to wear that and you're going to become avant-garde.
Because if that's not your energy, the clothing wears you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
because who's that really famous black woman that wears com? She wears com really well. Like that, you can tell it's her personality. What's her name again?
yes, yes.
Skipped my mind.
She's a collector as
Um,
well.
yeah, she is. She is.
She used to model a little bit
She
also.
looks great.
Yeah.
Well, she always looks great when she wears com. You can tell that that's her. But then some people wear com, and it's like
Oh my
you
God.
pulled this for Fashion Week, and you're going to put it right back after Fashion Week is over.
Exactly, exactly. It's like this, you know. It's so funny that it shows through the energy of the person.
Yeah. But I remember Tom Ford saying his clients don't wear gym clothes casually. Yeah, I mean, even Tom Ford, that I'm not sure about like women's wear, but I know a lot of men that like are Tom Ford customers, and they're
Hmm.
all the same. Like they're the kind of guys that like wear like quarter zips to go to the gym. Like they always look smart casual. Even like they just don't know how to
Mm.
not look smart casual. Like even if they go to if they play basketball, they'll still kind of look smart casual. They just it's in their being. They're so corporate. But I like
Yeah.
that because it's their aesthetic. That's them. I like it.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, Patagonia jackets for the finance pros. Yeah, like the Tom Ford customer is the kind of. Let me show you guys something. Let me show you guys. Um,
But the
just
new
to
Tom
kind of.
Ford is another kind of guy, yeah?
It's true. I'm talking about like old Tom Ford, not
Yeah, yeah,
Hyder
yeah,
Ackerman. Tom
yeah,
Ford is
yeah.
like
He's
different.
another kind of guy, yeah. Who is this guy? We don't know. It's rare to find. But I mean, but it's very beautiful. I really liked how the choice of like the casting. It was great for both for men and women. I really love the casting.
Yeah,
It was very well selected.
yeah. So the typical Tom Ford customer,
Oh
this
my
is the
God.
shoe that they wear to the gym because it's just like they don't know how to like dress down for like something where it's appropriate because they're just their whole being is like I have to look sharp. That's like their whole. It's
It's
like
so
their
funny.
whole lifestyle.
But this is not even sharp, actually. But it's okay.
I know, but because so the typical Tom Ford person, they don't know how to dress down. So a lot of times their outfits when they dress down, they kind of look like a disaster because, like I said, they don't know how. They just don't know how. They just like I have to look smart casual
So
everywhere
funny.
I go. Like some of them are my friends. It's quite funny. But that's like
I
the
didn't know that
typical like
existed.
Tom
It's so
Ford
interesting.
person. Yeah.
Yeah. What is this? The good shoe. What brand? What is...
It's just Grantham, but I could literally find you a Tom Ford shoe. Let me find the Tom Fords. Although they would have changed it though because it's Hyder Ackerman there now. But like old
This
Tom
is...
Ford, like when you go on the website and you look at the sneakers that are available, that's exactly what they were.
Oh my God.
Like, let me find it. Yeah, exactly. Like these kind of. So this is the Tom Ford website. It's like this kind of stuff. Like wait, let me. Yeah, this kind of stuff. This is what the Tom Ford man wears to the gym.
No.
Or this is
Ah.
this is what they wear to play tennis. This is definitely what they wear to play tennis. How does Micah dress for the gym? You need to ask him.
How does who?
Micah, one of my friends.
Oh, okay.
Um, oh, someone's saying Anastasia should be here frequently. She's a breath of fresh air. Yeah, she's
Oh,
amazing.
thank
I
you.
will. I will say it is my fault because I've been trying to get her on the stream, but then things always happen, which are mainly my fault, to be fair.
It's not a fault.
Um,
It's fine. You're just very busy, so we need to
yeah,
just...
I just get busy, and then things come up, and it's like, oh no, we can't do it anymore. So I'm happy we were able to do a collab stream uh
You're not doing that
today.
often, right? Are you inviting other people or it's only me? I'm joking.
I used to invite a lot of people.
You
I think I
used
need to
to.
do it more. I definitely think I need to do it more. I
Hmm.
have a wide net of fashion friends that I can put onto the streams. Ask to come onto the streams.
Hmm.
All in different disciplines in the industry. But yeah, she's a fan favorite. She's a fan favorite.
I don't know why.
Don't say that. You have charisma.
To speak in public, maybe, yeah. But it's true. That is true. I'm very comfortable with that. So maybe that's what it is also. I mean, I'm not talking about my job, but I'm talking as a person,
Yeah.
why people like me like that. I guess it's my personality. I don't know. And I
Those
enjoy
shoes
always
don't look.
talking about fashion. Ah,
Yeah,
this
those shoes don't
breathable.
look breathable. Yeah,
It's
I
true,
don't think
actually.
the typical Tom Ford man cares about the breathability. It's like so long as they look sharp, that's all that matters.
Yeah, but then if they're not breathable and it smells, it doesn't look that elegant anymore.
I actually wonder if they have those like Tom Ford shoes that all these men wear with their suits.
Ah,
Um,
this is so awful. I didn't even know this existed.
yeah, these are the they love. So all the Tom Ford shoes that all these like finance bros that have a bit of edge wear are like the really pointy,
Mm.
like these. Yeah, these
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
shoes.
Yeah,
They
yeah, I see.
love these kind of shoes. Like yeah, these. They
I know,
love
I know.
these.
Yeah, this I have seen many times. Yeah, on finance
Yeah, they
people and
love
people like yeah,
these.
yeah, on corporate people. Yeah,
Corporate people, but they're kind of fashionable. Like they have an edge to them, and they wear like the Tom Ford.
Edge compared to the rest that doesn't know how to put anything together. But then Edge,
The
it's
African
okay.
uncles, yeah,
What
the
can we
African
say?
uncles with a lot of money, they wear those pointy shoes too. That's true. They definitely wear those pointy shoes. Nigerians especially, they love Tom Ford. Like they
Yeah,
love Tom
yeah,
Ford. The type of shoes you
yeah.
can take a free kick in. Corrupt African officials love a leather shoe.
It's true. I think that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the Congolese uncles as well. Definitely, definitely. I'm trying to see what random fashion questions do I have for you. Have you been following like the Marty Supreme rollout? And if you have, what do you think about it?
Kumi?
Yeah,
No, I haven't.
she's like, no, I don't care about Timothy Chalamet.
I really don't actually.
I think it's for the best. I
Good.
hate that I have to know everything that's going on just because I'm a journalist. Because some things I feel
Yeah,
like I get brain rot from
I
having
understand.
to follow.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Or
So
discuss
that's
or
definitely for
comment
the best.
uninspiring thing on uninspiring things, boring things. Hmm.
Yeah. Also, oh, let me look at something quickly. Um,
Mm.
Valentino had their collection just drop, right? The pre-fall collection. I just want to like go through it quickly and have a look. Because I think this came out, well, technically yesterday because it's like past midnight now,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah. In typical Alessandro Michele fashion, 111 looks. In typical Alessandro Michele fashion. Why is it
What is
so many looks?
this is a torture. It never ends, you know.
Okay,
Oh
some
my
of them are like the
God.
same look and just different. Okay,
I
fair
think I
enough.
saw a few of these images. Yeah. Mm. Mm. No.
What's his obsession with like this like layering of like tights and lingerie and stuff? Like he's been doing that a lot. His.
Oh my God.
I just don't know if I like the way he does it. There's people that do it like Hyder Ackerman is even doing that at Tom Ford, like the lingerie stuff, but like he does it well. I
Mm.
don't know. Alessandro does it kind of weirdly.
Yeah.
Like there's designers that play with like sheer fabrics really. Like Simone Rocha does it. Like I love Simone the way she like
I
plays with
love
like
it
sheer
too.
fabrics and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't know with like the way even Chimela Kamali at Chloe is doing that too. But
Mm.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, with sheer fabric, I love sheer fabrics, by the way. With sheer fabric, it can end up looking very cheap even, depending how
That's
it's put. And
yeah, that's the issue I have with like
yeah,
this.
it
Sometimes it
doesn't
does
look
look a
luxurious,
bit
and it should look. You're in Valentino, it should look luxury. It should look, I don't know,
yeah.
like why 110 looks for what? I don't know what's the strategy behind that, or just enjoying himself.
I think
What
he's
is-
just having fun. I think
He's
he's
just
just
having
having
fun.
fun.
I'll let him have some fun. It's fine. What
And
can I say?
Valentino is like really popular because Like I remember reading those like earned media value stats. Like Valentino is normally like high up on those during
Mm,
Fashion Week because they have like all the like Korean, like K-pop VIPs, and like
yeah.
they work with like really famous like Thailand actors and actresses
Hmm.
who are really big in Asia. So like strategy wise, they know what they're doing. Even though the clothing is not like ultra interesting compared to like so many other brands, they still kind of get that buzz and attention just by being associated with certain VIPs.
Yeah. It looks old also, you know. It has that very Michele kind of thing, which for me, I'm very tired of this right now. I
The thing
mean,
is, I like Michele's aesthetic, but I think there's something about Valentino. I can't put my finger on it, like why it doesn't work. But there's just something about Valentino that it just doesn't work.
it doesn't work, no.
There's something about it. I don't understand because at Gucci it worked. It made sense, but like I don't know.
Yeah. It made sense, yeah. He created very, very interesting narrative there as well. Again, there it was more about the narrative than the clothes themselves sometimes. Great styling, I mean, very personal world of his. So he should, it would be best for him to have his own brand, I think, to express himself.
Yeah,
Because I don't know, this is,
like what is that? Like
oh my God,
what is that?
this is rubber. The sole is the rubber. Oh, it does look.
Yeah,
Oh, it
so the
does look
sole is
nice.
rubber. This is leather, but it looks like a very
Mm,
bad quality leather. In fact, this is like probably brand new, like sample, and look at like the damage on the leather already. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still
it's
trying to
very
put my
rushed.
finger on it.
It looks very rushed
I'll come back
also.
to you guys when I figure out what exactly it is specifically at Valentino that doesn't allow his aesthetic to work. I'm still figuring it out. Yeah, Valentino shoes under Michele have been very questionable. Agreed. Maybe
I
that's
think what
part of it. That's
it's
part
part
of
of
it.
it for sure. But I think the finishing and like this high-end aesthetic that a house like Valentino should have, this luxury, you know, that it should project. It's not there. I think that's what it does. You know, it doesn't look like you see this image that do you feel like it's something luxurious? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that's the main reason, by the way. It looks even the way it's curated, even the way it's styled, you know, it doesn't give that kind of energy.
Do you know something? I'm just thinking about it. I'm thinking because I was just thinking to myself, why is it that his footwear at Gucci was so good, but then the footwear at Valentino is so bad? And part of it is because I think when it comes to like looking luxurious in Gucci, if you do like a fur slipper with the horse bit on top, it still kind of looks classy because it's a horse bit.
And
It's
it's
not like a
Gucci, you know, it
massive,
has that kind of,
yeah.
yeah,
It's not like a massive G. It's just a horse bit. So that's classy. Like, what do we associate horse bits with?
yeah,
Horse riding. What is horse riding? An upper class activity. But when it's just a V, there's
yes.
no
You're right
like
on this. Yes,
upper
yes, yes, yes,
class like associations other than it's just Valentino. So it's like there's no,
yes.
yeah. So
Because of the
if
codes
you
of the house
take,
are
yeah,
different. That's why, yeah,
if you
that's the
take the
reason.
exact same designs at Gucci with the horse bits and put a V on it, the V makes it look a million times worse.
Yes,
So I think
yeah,
he
that's
needs
it.
to find something else than putting those like V's. Um, and he also needs to find like we get it. The Rock Stud collection was like really iconic for
Yeah. Oh
Valentino,
my God, what are these shoes?
but it's like we're gonna need different ideas than just like studs everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it needs to look high end, but
Yeah.
he has to use a different strategy for that. It doesn't work.
Mm. Anything that helped him in Gucci was that he had to have a degree of wide appeal. Here he is left to his own whims. Yeah. Yeah.
Who's
Mixed
gonna be the
hardware
cl
studs is tacky as hell. It is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It really is.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Who is the client for that? I don't know.
I have no
Who's gonna
idea.
wear? Who's gonna
I
wear
have
this?
no idea who's wearing that. Like, it's just not flat. Like, stuff like it's just not flattering. It's just not like it just
Even
yeah.
the fittings are not that great. Not on the way it's presented in general. It's very poor in my opinion.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to have a quick look because I know it just came out, but I was like, let me have a look at what Alessandro Michele is up to at Valentina.
Mm, yeah,
It's flattering depending on how you style it. So Alessandro Michele's aesthetic has always been like androgynous vintage, in my opinion. It's the kind of clothing that you could go into a thrift store
yeah,
and like you can recreate it quite easily. It's like that kind of clothing.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, you can go to yeah. So that's why I told you this is one reason well, it didn't fit for Gucci neither somehow, but partially yes, but now Valentino is much worse.
What fit at Gucci was the accessories and the footwear because people didn't really wear the ready to wear. Like the runway
Yeah,
pieces, you didn't really see people wearing
yeah,
Gucci, Alessandro Michele runway the way you would see people wear like Demna Balenciaga runway or
exactly.
like that kind of
Yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah. It's more the accessories for sure.
Yeah, but the shoes were hits. Like so many footwear hits. The Gucci Ace sneakers, the Princeton
I
loafers. Is
mean,
it
we shouldn't forget
Princetown or
he's an
Princeton
accessories
loafers?
designer, isn't it?
Yeah, that was his background.
Yeah. That
But I'm looking at Valentina and I'm like, where are the accessories then? Like, I mean, the sunglasses, the bags.
yeah. I don't know how long this is going to last.
Yeah, his shop's vintage too. I heard like recently that he was going to leave, but I guess that was just a rumor because he's still there.
Mm.
Yeah, it was more forgivable at Gucci because it's more flashy and brash. That's a good point
Mm,
because Valentino actually is supposed to be more elegant and
exactly.
subdued. So
Yeah, yeah.
when you have this aesthetic, it's just like more apparent.
Yes, yes.
I think that at Gucci the ideas could proliferate throughout the products. Even if you didn't like the more true to source material and idea designs, once it made its way to shoes and accessories, it hit. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because like Alessandro Michele used to design pussy bow blouses every single season, and I never saw anyone wear that on the street. Like I just never saw anyone wear that on the street.
Yes,
I used
yes,
to see
yes.
people wear the sneakers, the bags, definitely, the
Yeah.
sunglasses, definitely, the hats, 100%.
I mean, if you ever been to the boutique as well during him being at Gucci, many of the clothes were not of a great quality neither.
True, true.
So, because I saw one once and I was like a little bit terrified. I was like, because I was in Dubai at the time and I went to the, and I'm like, maybe there is like, I had this crazy idea that maybe in Arab countries they would sell another, like they would do the same designs but with a lesser quality fabric. In my head, I reached that point. I'm like, maybe it's because we are here in Dubai that actually no. I think in Europe it was exactly the same. Like they
Oh my
replicated, but with
gosh.
polyester here. Nobody would know. But no, I think it was polyester everywhere, so it's fine. And a bad polyester also. I remember this tracksuit. It was awful. It's like this type of polyester that sometimes you see at Nike or Adidas, like the very poor one, very thick
Yeah.
polyester one for sportswear. Yeah. And the lace, it
No,
was not even.
Gucci under Alessandro Michele, the quality is definitely terrible. Like,
Mm.
authenticators used to struggle to authenticate it because the
That's so interesting.
fakes were so close to the real ones. It was
Of
hard to
course.
like, and they have that like the software where they like scan it like closer, like they can zoom into like the grain of the leather, and they still couldn't tell the difference. That's how bad the quality was.
Wow, that's so interesting. I didn't know that. You see? Yeah. But it cannot work at Valentino. It's a different client.
Yeah,
I mean,
at a
especially
luxury
also,
brand, your quality should be so good that it's so obvious. It's
yeah.
like I can tell if an Hermes bag is real or not very easily because
Mm.
like the way that Hermes bags are finished is so difficult to do that there's just no way if unless like you spend so much time making a bag at which point you'll probably just charge the same as an Hermes bag which is
Exactly.
what the like in China they're not going to make it that way, so it's like
Yeah.
it's very obvious when
Yeah.
that kind of stuff is fake. But other brands, it's not obvious. And if it's not obvious, it means that your brand quality isn't that great because why is
Yeah.
it that easy to replicate your stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a terrible thing then. So yeah, it's not gonna work at Valentino, I think. I don't know. Maybe he will stay for a while, but to do what? I mean,
I
yeah,
just want to know like who is buying it. Like, have any of you in the chat, have you guys seen people wear Alessandro Michele's Valentino like on the streets? I'm just curious. I've personally not seen. I've not even seen it at Fashion Week, which is where normally you see everything, that even the
mm,
stuff you don't normally see.
yeah, no, I don't think so.
For Pablo's Valentino was also lots of polyester stuff, so I don't know if anything changed here at all.
No, come on. This is not comparable at all. We cannot compare.
Yeah, someone's saying not in NYC.
Who is saying it's polyester? No, I don't agree with this.
Oh, you're talking
The
about
ready
Pier
to,
Paolo?
yeah, the ready to
Yeah.
wear was polyester? I don't think so.
I
You
don't.
think
I
that's the
can't
case?
speak to the. I can't speak to the quality of Pier Paolo's Valentino because I didn't have that much experience with it.
Mm.
Although, a few of my friends have like Pier Paolo Valentino pieces, and their pieces are like really good quality. So those pieces, but those are like runway pieces. So maybe like that could be another thing.
Yeah, then again, if we talk, I don't know about what we're talking then. If we're talking about pieces that are not on the runway and they're just like, I don't know, Valentino
Permanent
tracksuit or
collection, yeah, like the
jumper.
tracksuits, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
Those are
then,
normally
but
made like really terribly, yeah.
but that's everywhere. I don't even know why all brands have to do tracksuits. That's another thing that,
To be fair,
it,
it does
it
make money.
of course, we know what's the answer, but like it makes me,
Because like, oh my god, like being into fashion sometimes is a bit dystopian because it's like I'll watch YouTubers. They're not fashion YouTubers. They're just like maybe like they're like basketball YouTubers or whatever, and they have a lot of money. So then they go into the Gucci store and they're like, this season is not as good as last season. Like last season, like they had those like green tracksuits and it was like really cool. And I'm like, that's not seasonal product. That's permanent collection. That's not seasonal. Like they think the stuff that they see in a like really small store is like reflective of like the seasons of Gucci. It's so interesting. It's they're like, what happened to last season? Last season, you had the white T-shirt with the green stripe. This time it's a red stripe. You guys should
Oh
bring back
my
the green
God.
stripes.
But like, whose fault is that? Like, the commerce people that are working, like the people that are, deciding for these products, or the consumer who like, because that's a big issue. And then also, why you want to go to go, like, it's such a weird superficial thing where you want to wear a tracksuit but it has written Valentino on it. What does it even mean? It doesn't even mean anything. What does it, like, or like whatever, Loewe, or a pair of jeans, or like, or the t-shirt is of course the worst. It's like the cheapest product you can buy, and it has nothing to do with the
Yeah,
brand. And very often, I mean, very often, you go to the stores and it's so disappointing, because only if you work in fashion you know what was on the catwalk, and then you go to the store and you try to find, and there is nothing there, like two pieces, and they're like bags, leather goods everywhere, and then like, do you have any runway pieces? And then of course it depends on the country and like what kind of consumer you have, but you usually, even regardless of the country, like you see
yeah.
very few runway pieces, and then why we're like, to whom are you presenting them this?
Someone said I blame the rap. I will say that
I
rappers are notorious.
No,
So like,
yeah,
what's his name? West Side Gun.
yeah,
So it's funny because in like hip hop is like certain rappers just don't have a clue. Then there's rappers that like they know the brand names, but I don't think they actually know anything about the brands. But
mm,
just knowing the names is a flex. So it's
yeah,
like just mentioning the names means that you know more about fashion. So like someone like
yeah.
West Side Gun will be like, um, I wear the Isabel Marant with the Givenchy, and it's like you don't know anything about both of those brands. It's like stop it,
Which, by
stop
the way,
it.
they don't go together at all. But never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another.
I wear
Yeah,
the Rick with the. That stuff is so funny. So in hip
it's
hop,
very
it's
funny.
just about mentioning names.
Yeah,
It's just about like, I got the ND. Y'all ain't even on that. It's like, tell me one thing about Let Me Start. You heard Kanye and ASAP Rocky talking about it, and now you're rapping about it.
so funny. Like
No,
I think
hip
I
hop is
told you about.
notorious for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. Yeah, it's true. Oh my God. Yeah, what to say? Tracksuits.
I said blame Kanye. I don't think you can blame Kanye because the difference between Kanye and a
No,
lot of
no,
them is
no.
that Kanye actually knows about the brands. Like
Exactly.
he's fans of the designers. He can tell you about their work. Kanye is not actually. I think the problem is the information wasn't relayed. So a lot of kids see what Kanye wears, but they don't actually realize how much he understands about fashion. So then they
It's
just
true.
like adopt the brand name without the like everything around it. Um, so I
Yeah.
can't even blame Kanye. I think Kanye actually knows a lot about fashion. Actually, it's just the people that copied him didn't take the knowledge; they just took the brand name and
Yeah.
ran with it.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's what we were saying last time about Junior. It's so unfortunate that people came to know Junior Watanabe through Kanye West. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah.
But I don't. I still don't think that's a bad thing because then
No,
Kanye
it's a good
still
thing.
he
It's a good thing.
respects fashion to a certain extent.
Exactly.
The problem is his fans. They're not going to like respect it the way that he does. They're just gonna be like,
Yeah,
Kanye wore Junior. What's this Junior brand? And then they just buy the denim. They buy the Levi's collab. It's just like, yeah. It's just how the information is filtered down. That's the issue.
yeah, yeah. It's so funny. All these things are so funny.
Someone playing my jealous split toes.
What?
Even like West Side Gun, what's the name of his like album series? It's like Hitler Wears Hermes. That's like the name of his album series because it's like Devil Wears Prada, Hitler Wears MS. It's like,
Oh my God. Yeah.
no, I love hip hop, but like musically, but like the name dropping designers and not knowing anything about it is just weird. I've always found it strange.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is
Yeah,
hilarious,
ASAP
actually.
Ferg. So the ASAP mob are actually like very well integrated into fashion. So when I'm talking about like hip hop, the ASAP mob don't count. Like ASAP Ferg, ASAP Rocky, like ASAP Nas, like they're actually like fashion people, so they don't
Mm.
count.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, these are exceptions.
Yeah.
Like Kendrick Lamar, for example. He's an exception. I like how they style him. I don't know who his stylist is, but it is a good example of a very interesting way of styling. I really like
Yeah.
the work. It's a female, I
Yo,
don't remember
England,
her name.
England has got to be put onto the new. Hey, DM me on Instagram who I should be listening to. I'm an unk, so I don't know what the young kids are listening to these days.
Yeah.
ASAP Mobile, NYC. Yeah, exactly. Like New York is still like one of the meccas of fashion, so it's very likely if you're like a rapper, but like you grew up in New York, you have proximity to a lot of fashion, so chances are you're going to be like immersed in it.
Yeah. Yeah, very true.
Yeah. Well, I think fundamentally it's about what these brands do when the attention and new customers are at their doorstep. Yeah. I think they should. I always believe that educating consumers is the best way to go because when people really understand things about your brand, they're more likely to become fans forever because they really like understand the essence of the brand. If
Yeah.
it's just like a Gucci is hot right now, so let me buy the Gucci shoes. When it's no longer hot, now you just lose a massive cut. This is what happened to McQueen, right? So
Yeah.
McQueen, and I said this in a stream already, they were making 800 million in revenue because of the McQueen sneakers. And once the hype around the McQueen sneakers died down, their revenue split in two, and then they started struggling financially because obviously when you're making 800 million a year, your hiring and your infrastructure gets built up to continue making that 800 million. So
Yeah.
when all of a sudden your revenue splits, where you have the infrastructure of 800 million, but you're only making 400 million, now you have loads of overheads, you're taking heavy losses. So that's what happened with McQueen.
But I mean, how smart it is to base your revenue on a pair of sneakers, you know?
It's not smart.
It can collapse. I mean, it will change and it will
Yeah.
collapse. What a strategy. No strategy, actually, in
Every
reality,
brand
you know?
should want to build slowly and gradually. That's the only and best way. If you do the quick thing, as quickly as you go up is as quickly as you go down. The brands that are like on top right now, like Hermes, they did the slow growth over a long span of time. That's the best way to build a company. The whole
Yeah,
hype thing, it's not sustainable.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, like
I didn't
someone
know
said,
that.
trends are never sustainable, 100%.
Yeah,
But most brands make money from fragrance and beauty, so I'm not surprised. So fragrance and beauty is actually really good because, like, if my favorite fragrance is, I don't know, Chanel number 5, when it finishes, what am I going to do? I'm going to buy another bottle. So it's like once something becomes my signature scent, I'm
mm,
just going to
yeah,
continue buying. So the good thing about beauty products is you get customers to keep coming back and keep coming back.
yeah, yeah,
Like if I buy a pair of like shoes, I'm not coming back until those shoes like, you know, rip or something. Or I just want another colorway. But it's less
yeah,
likely than me buying
of
another
course.
perfume.
Mm, yeah. And it's the cheapest access you can have to a luxury brand also,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly
like,
this. I never bought the same sneakers twice. So it's like it's way better to make money from beauty. That's actually sustainable. The beauty thing is sustainable. It's the
Yes.
ready to wear like one shoe that's not sustainable. If you can't funnel the revenue and attention from a star product into other products and to getting customers to be in the storefronts, then it's dangerous. Yeah, it's like Nike, for example, their main thing that they used to sell was the Air Force One. That was like majority of their business, just selling Air Force One. So when they started
Yeah.
struggling, was when there was so much competition that no one was buying the Air Force One as much as before.
Yeah.
I believe there was a time when almost all the footballers were wearing the Alexander McQueen sneakers. Oh yeah, you're correct.
That's so
Skinny
interesting.
jeans,
Oh my
skin
God.
tight skinny jeans, McQueen sneakers, and Philip Plein hoodie. Um,
I didn't know that. Oh, Philip Line. I
no,
cannot.
it's bit you should count yourself lucky because it's like terrible style. Let me actually see if I can put some of these on the screen.
It's a circus
Uh,
out there. Oh my God, Philip Line. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
This is how they used to dress.
Yeah,
Skin tight
yeah.
jeans, white t-shirt with the shirt over the t-shirt, and then the white McQueen sneakers. This was like, yeah, it was. This is exact skin tight jeans.
Oh, how nice.
Oh my god, I'm so happy this era is like behind. Well, I
Oh,
mean, some
yeah,
people still dress like this, but like, I'm happy for
many,
the most part. I don't see
unfortunately.
too
Yeah,
many people.
yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, this was like a horrible era in fashion. Like this, like, oh my gosh. And it's always like, oh my god, let me show you something, right? Because when I say like I follow people from every end of the political spectrum, because I don't ever want to be in like a vacuum, so
Hmm.
I have to know what different people think. Like, so there's this like crypto guy on just to give you a like an idea of the kind of people that like still wear these like dress this way. So this guy here is some like crypto guy that I watch sometimes on
What are
YouTube.
you showing us? Huh.
He was in one of his videos. He was like, yeah, like he's some Australian guy. He was like, yeah, so like I got myself a pair of those McQueens, and I was like, ah, he's exactly the Hugo Boss cap, like McQueen sneakers with the drives a G wagon. Like they're all the same. Into crypto. It's like, oh gosh. Oh my gosh. It's so funny.
It's so
Yeah,
funny how
and
people end up falling into categories, so easily. They,
but
you
what's
know,
funny is I think if I told him he's the kind of guy, I'm very sure if I told him he was in a category, he would think no, I think for myself because
that's
people
the
that
funny thing. That's how
yeah,
ignorant people are. I
people
don't
that
know.
are like him who are like really right wing, they think that like the way they talk is like I'm a free thinker. Like the lefties don't have any thought. They're all sheep. That's how they talk. So it's like if I was to tell him, actually, the way you dress, you look like a Pinterest board of like chavs in the UK. He would like argue to the end of the earth. So it's quite fascinating.
Yeah. How people think they're unique when in reality they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It fascinates me too. Because they don't observe around them that they look exactly the same like many other people. So
Yeah.
how is it so difficult to see? I don't know.
These people got to be AI generated. No way.
Yes, but they are not.
Oh gosh. So yeah, that That guy just reminded me of. I was like, oh yeah, that Daniel Peckish. He wears McQueen sneakers. Like that's the exact person that wears those sneakers.
I don't know how we went
So
from great stylists to language.
we have to talk about the good and the bad. That's
And yeah,
balance, yin
of
and
course, no,
yang.
no. Yeah, the yin and the yang. It doesn't. They don't balance each other out. Really, to be honest, it's okay. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Also, Leo, you're correct. He actually does live in Dubai, and he's always complaining about how bad the West is. You know, the typical like person. The West is dead. He's that person.
Yeah. Oh my
So we need
God.
we need a palate cleanser. Anyway, we've been on the stream for long enough. We've been here for 3 hours. I'll end it here, guys. I'm sure Anastasia needs to go to bed as well. Um, but thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. This was a lot of fun. Um, and hopefully, I see all of you soon in the next stream. Please do follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch. The reason why you should follow me on Twitch is because Twitch sends out email notifications when I go live. So you can always know when I go live. It's a lot better on Twitch, like how the system works compared to YouTube's terrible notification system. And of course, if you're on Spotify, you can watch the streams back on Spotify. But yep, on that note, I'll see you guys in the next stream.